to challenge what he finds a questionable one. Arizona Senator John McCain says in a statement, without mentioning Trump by name, that he conceded the 2008 election to President Obama without reluctance because it's the American way, and this election must not be any different. Hillary Clinton's running mate Tim Kaine tells a crowd in Charlotte, North Carolina,
there is no path to electoral college win for Donald Trump without North Carolina's electoral votes. None.
Well, the debates are done, but Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton will be in the same room at least one more time before the election at a dinner tonight in New York. Fox's Gernal Scott's there, joins us live.
Hey, Chris, it will definitely be the final and most formal of all the candidates' face-to-face meetings this campaign season. The Alfred E. Smith Foundation dinner raises money for Catholic charities and during presidential election years invites the major party candidates to speak. Both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are confirmed to attend at the Waldorf Astoria in New York tonight. But serious issues will usually take a backseat to barbs directed at themselves and the other candidates. And some were saying that tongue firmly in cheek nature of this dinner will be a welcome respite from what many see as the candidates' contentiousness in this campaign.
Colonel Scott, New York, thanks. In northern Iraq,
an American service member was killed after suffering wounds from a roadside bomb. There are up to 300 U.S. Special Operations Forces embedded with Iraqi and Kurdish forces in the operation to recapture Mosul from ISIS, which kicked off this week. This is the fourth U.S. service member killed in action against ISIS since 2014. There are now more than 5,000 U.S. troops on the ground in Iraq. The Pentagon says no U.S. troops are on the front lines. At the Pentagon, Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News.
You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
In my line of work, I'm trying to make a difference. Not $1 billion, but I want to save for the future, too. So this year, I partnered with TIAA to help me map out a plan. If I stick to it, I could have an income stream for life and maintain my lifestyle in retirement. Looks like a life of rewarding work could pay off for a lifetime.
Your personal success takes a financial partner who values it as much as you do. Learn more at TIAA.org.
America is taking the lead in energy.
Leading the world in oil and natural gas production.
I vote to keep it going.
With the right policies, we can produce, refine, and supply
more oil and natural gas.
And more abundant energy
means more affordable energy for American families.
A more secure America.
Jobs.
Opportunity and economic growth. For our children
and grandchildren.
That's why this election,
I'm voting
for American energy.
Learn more at voteforenergy.org.
Join us and become an energy voter.
Brought to you by American Petroleum Institute.
18-year-old boy in Beach City, Texas, is charged with murdering his grandparents. Police say his high school principal called Tuesday to ask why the boy wasn't in class. He said his grandmother was having a medical emergency. The principal told staff to call 911, and emergency responders found the grandparents dead since they think Sunday or Monday. A boy in Massachusetts hit in his home by a stray bullet.
It happened Wednesday night.
I was outside in front of my house. I heard shots.
Then Tehran Delgado says,
I ran to my house, and then I see my brother on the floor, and he was sitting down in his room on the bed. And then the bullet went through the wall and hit him in the back.
His brother, who's 13, was lying on his bed at the time in their third-floor apartment. Police in Chelsea, just outside Boston, are searching for two possible gunmen seen driving off in an SUV. As for the victim,
he was just like, it hurt so much, I can't move my arm.
He was taken to a hospital and stable. His gunshot wound not considered life-threatening. Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Apple is suing a company accused of selling fakes.
Apple says it's been buying its own products labeled as genuine on Amazon and found nearly 90% of them to be counterfeit. When the iPhone maker alerted the company, the online retailer identified the source as a company called MobileStar. This all coming out in a federal lawsuit filed this week by Apple against that New Jersey company over alleged counterfeit chargers and cables. In the suit, Apple says MobileStar imprinted Apple logos on products which pose a significant risk of overheating, fire, and electric shock. Amazon not named in that suit. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Bye-bye to Bao Bao. The National Zoo in Washington is sending its panda cub to China early next year, with the Atlanta Zoo sending panda twins to China next month. That's the deal with China's Panda Loan Program. Cubs born in American zoos are sent to China for its breeding program. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News Radio.
Hello, here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast. Brought to you by Chief Bauer. Need a heating expert. Might need that more now that
it is feeling a little
cooling
cool.
Expert. I might have to switch to full-time heating here soon. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, chance of rain, a low of 41. Tomorrow should be cleared up. Sunny clear, high 56, a low of 37. Saturday, great day. Sunny clear, 65, a low of 46. Right now, mostly cloudy, 60 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
There's a breaking ball that he lines into right field, a base hit. On a bounce to Hayward. Gonzalez making the turn, coming home. The throw on a bounce, the tag. They got him at home plate. Now Gonzalez right away is saying no, he didn't. Contreras feels he got the tag down in time. The call on the field is out. And almost undoubtedly we may have a review here. 2-0 pitch and a swing and a high fly ball to deep right center field. He's hit it well. He has hit it out. Addison Russell with a 2-run homer. And the Cubs with a 4-0 lead. Baez has his sign. He deals, and now a swing and a drive to deep center field. Peterson back. It's gone. Anthony Rizzo. The Cubs have evened up the series at 2 wins apiece as they thrash the Dodgers tonight 10-2. And the bats that were so quiet in games 2 and 3, they woke up tonight.
Yeah, and a giant exhale for the Cubs.
Thanks, Aaron.
No doubt there. Hey, highlights courtesy of ESPN. It's the Tay and Jay Show. Lante, Jeremy, Werner. So many things you and I were just talking about during those clips.
Yeah.
Just how I just feel like the first run of a game is so important in this kind of a baseball playoff atmosphere.
I agree with Carp's key to every game.
Yep.
Score first.
Yep.
But for the Cubs, it felt that way.
You did.
It felt like they needed to score to exhale.
Yes.
Because even Joe Madden had to remind himself not to freak out.
Right.
Like not to act like a fan that, hey, just take it pitch by pitch, inning by inning, win your inning, win your at bat, win your defense when you're out there, win your half inning, whatever it is. We just have to do that. We're a great team. We're going to figure it out. And they had to take advantage of what the Dodgers' opportunities they were going to give them.
Correct.
And they did.
Yep.
You know, like the first one I know they didn't early in the game, but once they started committing those errors, all of a sudden the floodgates open a little bit. And it's interesting that all of it started with a bunt. A bunt single by Ben Zobrist, but you felt like, okay, now the rest of these guys will get going.
It is interesting when that happens, just something small like that. And then as soon as you kind of crack the armor, if you will, then you just relax. And you knew that these bats were too good to go quiet this entire time. I know we saw it last year in New York. Yeah. I get that. You saw that in that series.
But this is a better team.
This is a better team, and these guys are professional hitters, and they're too good to go that many games without getting hits, and they showed it last night. Now we got a deadlock.
And it had to feel good for Cubs fans to see the two guys who carried you last night were Addison Russell and Anthony Rizzo. Russell entered that game 1 for 25 in the postseason. That's a 0.40 average, and he homered to center on that 2-0 fastball in the fourth inning. And they took advantage of the kid, right? I mean,
they did.
Urias looked pretty good for the first couple innings, but then he made mistakes, and you knew he was going to make mistakes, and he had to make them pay, and Russell did. And then Rizzo, of course, who was batting, 2 for 26 or something like that, 0.63 going to that, homered off Pedro Baez in the fifth, and then he had that 2-run single in the 5-run sixth inning where the Dodgers were just terrible defensively, but here we are. It's 2-2.
Here we go.
The Cubs take back this series, I think, because now all you got to do is win 2 of 3, and you bring it back to Chicago, and now the pressure's back on LA.
It totally is.
Especially with Kershaw in the 6th game. Because if you had Kershaw tonight, we can talk about whether we think Dave Roberts...
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, whether Dave Roberts should go with it now or not, but... I mean, you got Kenta Maeda against John Lester.
Right.
The pressure's on the Dodgers tonight.
No. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. And it'll be interesting to see how that goes. The other thing about Rizzo, it's interesting. Do you think he just needed to get the apology out of the way and then he can start hitting? I've never seen something so blown up over that. That's funny to hear that, though, the conversation, what happens between a player and an umpire. This whole decision about Clayton Kershaw tonight has thrown me for a loop. I have no vested interest in this series. But I am sitting here probably for an hour today sitting here thinking, okay, I'm going to look at this from both sides and try to figure out what I would do if I were Dave Roberts. You have short rest Clayton Kershaw, who's still one of the best pitchers in baseball, or you give him that extra day, and I get it because Dave Roberts, I think, thinks we've been doing this short rest Kershaw stuff to the point where I think we're eventually wearing him down. So do you wait then and just start him game 6? Now, here's the deal. To me, this is what I finally concluded on, okay?
Yeah.
Like an hour later in Lon's brain. I would rather start him tonight and try to keep the pressure on the Cubs. And here's why. If you go down 3-2 tonight to Chicago, yes, you've got a fully vested, fully vested, not worn out Clayton Kershaw for game 6. Great chance you're going to win game 6 and force game 7. However, if you throw Kershaw tonight and you go up 3-2, number one, I think you could possibly use him at the end of a game 7 if needed.
Can't you do it? No
you
matter
still
what?
Probably could. I mean, he could probably go 6 and 7.
He could pitch for 6 or 7 innings.
He could.
In game 6, or why not a full game and come back and pitch an inning?
Yeah, he could.
I mean, don't those guys do long toss or whatever the next day anyway?
They do,
or something like that?
But at least tonight, then, you would have 2 full days before he would even attempt to take the mound again. I just think if you're the Dodgers and you can throw Kershaw tonight and you win. Now, granted, if you lose tonight, then the series is pretty much over.
Right.
If
and I think that's what Dave Roberts is going here. I think he feels like he's been pushing Kershaw just to get to this point.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to throw Kenta Maeda at some point.
At some point.
Kenta Maeda has to, either Maeda or Hill has to win a game. Right? So do you rest Kershaw, make sure you're fully rested for the first time this postseason, the best pitcher in baseball in Wrigley.
Right.
Or, even if you're down 3-2, it's more important to have a guy like Kershaw.
And that's a fair point
at
Wrigley.
Or do you throw a non-rested Kershaw tonight against a great John Lester, where Kershaw, what if he's not 100%
True.
And you lose that game?
True. And then it's pretty much over.
There are, I think this is a 50-50 split.
It really is.
It's just your gut feel of how you feel here, because no matter what, he has to pitch.
Yes.
It's not like if they're up 3-1, I think I would throw Kershaw tonight.
Yeah, just
to lock it down.
End it at home.
If it were but 2-2, I think you're going to have to pitch him anyway. Maybe you'd rather have him on the road, and you're going to get Maeda or Hill.
Yeah.
You got to get a win out of those guys either way.
And that's true. And I think that the value, it's valid, the point you say about in Wrigley. I mean, you'd rather a guy like Kershaw take that pressure than a guy like Maeda. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I think to my point is, if I'm LA and I'm the underdog in this series, I want to keep the pressure on Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the Cubs to be up 3-2 knowing they're going back to Wrigley.
I get it.
Because even if you have...
But you got to throw Kenta Maeda at Wrigley.
You're right. And that's the thing. Because then
would you rather have Kenta Maeda feeling better at home because you saw what he did at Wrigley? He didn't look too good.
In my mind, this has really honestly warped my mind today. Yeah. And I'm just
because there's no easy answer.
There isn't.
It's not like it's obvious.
Yes.
You do this.
Yes.
It's go by feel, and that's why the managers have so much pressure on them to make these decisions.
I know we talk about how managers in baseball probably play less of a role of any other sport. Maybe
I think during a season. Once you get to the postseason.
But now, boom, now you start to see where this can really, I mean, number one, just figuring up 25-man rosters. That right there sometimes is a tricky scenario. Do you want to add more defense? Do you want to add more pitching? Do you want to add more offense? And then all of a sudden it comes down to a decision like this with Clayton Kershaw. I can see both points, and I could be argued for on both points whether or not you throw Kershaw tonight.
Here's David Roberts. He said the Kershaw offered to pitch tonight. He said, he's done what he's always done in saying that he'll do whatever we ask of him. So I think that for us, thinking through it, the best thing for us is to give him pitch Game 6 and have Kenta go on Thursday. And with the guys that we have at the back end of the pen, I feel good about the position we're in because Jansen didn't pitch last night.
Yeah,
and
that's
I think
true.
their second best reliever didn't pitch last night. So they can go to Maeda for 4 or 5 innings if they need to. And if Maeda's shaky, they can go find somebody else.
And you know what? And you're at home, so you feel better. I mean, if you're LA, you feel better at home. You go to Maeda. I guess the good news there is even if you lose tonight, you know you've got Kershaw in 6. The other feeling is if you win tonight, you know you've got a fully rested Clayton Kershaw in Game 6, and you're really feeling good, I would assume, going into Game 6 at Wrigley Field. It's just fun. This is why I love.
Great series, huh?
Way to go, Cleveland. Way to be boring and just methodically rip apart Toronto and not give us anything to enjoy the rest of this.
I am so happy because I said it during our interview yesterday that we had, and I was talking about with Jordan Burnfield.
Yeah.
And I was saying, I would assume Andrew Miller gets the MVP of the ALCS.
Amen.
And he got it.
He did.
And he deserved it.
He did. Did he pitch every game? Did he appear in every? It felt
at least
like
4 of them.
Maybe not the loss.
I think all the wins.
I think you're right. I think maybe the loss he didn't appear in. But I mean, it's just every time that I would look up, here's Andrew Miller in the game for Cleveland, and I'm like, how good is this dude? He's just nonstop. He can throw endless amount of innings. And he looks like he's 7'4". When you look at him, he's this skinny dude that looks like he's 7'4". I have no idea how tall he is. He's got to be 6'8", or something in that area. But it is amazing what kind of a weapon he is.
He pitched in the 4 wins.
Okay,
7 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs. Again, 7 2/3 innings, 14 strikeouts. 25 batters faced. He had 14 strikeouts.
I mean, that's a regular game. That's an actual start in Major League Baseball. So rip the stats again. No runs on 3 hits with 14 strikeouts.
Yeah, and no walks.
No walks.
A 0.391 whip. And a 16.4 strikeout per 9.
I want to know who got on. I want to know
what are you doing, Andrew?
What Toronto Blue Jay actually got on against Andrew Miller. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff.
We'll talk some Cubs. Saad of Sharma, theathletic.com, will join us at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. We'll also talk some Michigan football.
Dun, 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 dun. Is that Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay, I finally got that right.
Hail to Michigan. Ira Weintraub, he's Lante's favorite guest. He's the co-host of the Michigan Insider on WTKA in Ann Arbor. He'll join us at 5:25. We'll also ask him about basketball around the corner because Michigan's kind of one of those interesting teams that is in the top 20 or got top 25 votes, but not in the top 25 of the coaches.
I want to ask him what you and I talked about their point guard is
Derek Walton.
Did Derek Walton? Was he put on the preseason team just because they needed somebody from Michigan?
Yes.
Because we don't think he's a preseason All-Big
No,
Ten
I think
guy.
that team's a bunch of good players.
Yeah, right.
I don't think there's a lot of great players on that team.
Exactly. We'll ask Ira that.
Bears and the Packers play tonight.
First of all, didn't know the Bears played tonight.
I didn't even know they played the Packers this week.
Second of all, didn't know they played the Packers this week. And third, did you know Eddie Lacy's out for the year?
He is.
He's on the IR.
They just traded for Niall Davis.
Okay.
My boy Aaron Rodgers is struggling.
Yeah, he really is.
And I'm glad the Cubs are on because Thursday Night Football sucks.
Yeah. Amen. It's the worst.
Is there worse?
No.
I mean, I think the NFL, I've said this a lot, I think the product is down. I just don't think the quality of the product is great. And I think people are always going to love the NFL. The NFL is always going to draw huge ratings, but obviously they're down a little bit. Some of it's probably the political, what's going on now with all the debates and things like that. But I also think people are just kind of sick of how big the NFL is almost.
Yeah.
And that's why I've loved watching baseball.
Right.
But it's just not a quality product when the injury list for the Packers has 14 players.
Right.
The Bears has 12. 3 days to get prepared for a game. It's not good football.
And you think about all the large markets, the 3 largest markets in this country. LA, they've got the Rams, and the Raiders are decent this year. They're better. Chicago's bleh. And then you've got New York Jets or the Giants. I mean, so even your major markets have blah teams.
But yes, that's probably part of it. But I mean, a lot of the ratings come from the South, right?
Yeah, they do.
The NFL, some of the best ratings come from the South. So it will be interesting to see the ratings in Chicago because I mean, it's a Bears town. Most times, it's not right now.
No, not at all.
Absolutely not. So I wonder what those ratings are in Chicago for this game tonight.
I can't imagine anybody's watching this game. While the Cubs game.
I mean, there's obviously.
I mean, they'll have
Chicago
it on.
fans who weren't Cubs fans.
Well,
Bears
no, that's
fans
true.
Who weren't Cubs fans,
Fair
right?
point. I forget about that with the White Sox.
But it's just the Bears are so bad, and I'd rather watch the Cubs even if I were a White Sox fan.
Right, even if you're a White
Cardinals
Sox fan. That's more of the story.
Yeah.
That's more of the story with regards to that. But this is funny you say that because on Thursday Night Football, the Cardinals played 2 weeks ago on Thursday. And I even myself that night, the entire day, like they played on Monday Night Football this week, and I was so fired up all Monday. I'm like, Cardinals are on tonight. I can't wait. That Thursday night game, I was just like, oh, that's right. The Cardinals are on tonight.
It's just too much
There's
NFL.
Something about it.
Too much
I agree.
NFL.
I agree.
I don't need it Sunday, Monday, and Thursday.
I agree.
I just get overloaded with it.
And then as you get closer to
it's
the
like
playoffs,
you need to watch an NFL
Saturday.
game 3 days a week. No, I'm good.
No.
I don't need to.
Really, the only reason I would tape this or DVR it tonight is because I've got Alshon Jeffrey. So I've got fantasy. That's it.
You don't really need to watch the Bears.
I can just check the stats and see how Alshon's doing.
The box score. I want to bring up replay.
Okay.
With you coming up next. We'll talk about that, where replay's heading in baseball. Also, some NBA news out there. And Tiger Woods had an interview with Charlie Rose, one of the best interviewers out there. And had some interesting comments about catching Jack Nicklaus.
Interesting. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. That's the Chief Bauer text line. Also, the Jupiters of the Crossing phone line, 217-359-2255.
After Ira at 525, we'll do Ask Jay. You can send your Illini questions to me at Jay Warner Scout or text us at 217-359-2255. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and Jay Show. Download the WSJK app. Get the podcast at ESPNCU.com or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Just search Tay and Jay Show on YouTube.
We've got a lot to do today. Again, Sahadev Sharma talking Cubs at 4:05. Ira Weintraub to talk Michigan Wolverines at 5:25. Getting you ready for Illinois, Michigan on Saturday. It is the Tay and Jay Show.
Can't find the Cubs on TV? No problem. Listen to them on our sister station, Sunny 95.3. Champaign-Urbana's home for soft rock favorites from then and now, and Cubs baseball.
It's that time again to start thinking about a new place for fall 2017 and spring 2018. And when it comes to apartments, nobody has your back more than JSM Apartments. Leasing for apartments with 3 bedrooms or above is going on now. Looking for a smaller place with 1 or 2 bedrooms? Leasing dates start October 24th. Go to jsmliving.com for details. When you sign with JSM, you're part of their VIP program, getting you deals and discounts at restaurants and stores. And they have apartments close to your fraternity and sorority house. Go to jsmliving.com today.
Matthew 6:24 states, "No one can serve 2 masters. Either he will hate the one or love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Serve God, our Heavenly Father, and money will not be an issue. God will provide for you if you seek Him and serve Him by serving others. How can you serve the Lord today?" This message brought to you by the Blossom Basket Florist.
The Blossom Basket Florist. The florist you pick.
Hi, my name is Fred Wakefield. I'm a former Fighting Illini football player, 8-year NFL veteran, and now a graduate of the University of Illinois MBA program. I decided to get MBA because before I was ever a professional athlete, I was a student and someone wanting to really go into the business world. The best part about the MBA experience with the University of Illinois was the people involved in the program. Professors who were absolutely outstanding, fellow students who I still lean on a regular basis. I would definitely recommend Illinois' MBA program. Talked to a few different people about it. One guy actually played in the NFL for a number of years and called and asked about it. And I know that it's a program that continues to grow. I just think it's made a world of difference for me, and it will continue to as I progress through life and business. My University of Illinois MBA has allowed me not just the confidence, but also the tools to be able to move forward and continue to grow in business.
Earn your professional MBA 2 nights a week. Find out more at professionalmba.illinois.edu. That's professionalmba.illinois.edu.
Congressman Rodney Davis supported Donald Trump until October 8th. Mark Wickland, Democrat for Congress, always believed that Trump was wrong for America.
Donald Trump, supported by Rodney Davis, insulted war hero John McCain for having been captured in the Vietnam War. Mark Wickland is the proud father of a disabled veteran and deeply appreciates sacrifices our veterans have made.
I'm Mark Wickland. I approve this message because I want to keep America great.
The U of I Community Credit Union's construction is complete. We have a new look and new feel, and we want you to be a part of it. Stop into one of our 3 branches and check it out, because ultimately, it's all about you and I and making everyone more financially informed. From car loans to mortgages to checkings and savings accounts to general financial advice, the U of I Community Credit Union has created a better experience for our current and new members. Are you a member yet? Why not? If you live, work, or study in Champaign County, you can bank with the U of I Community Credit Union. Find us on 1st Street in Champaign. Find us at our 5 Points branch on the corner of Cunningham and University in Urbana. Find us on campus at the Illini Union. And find us online at uoficreditunion.org. Whatever you do, make sure you find us. We guarantee you'll love our new look and feel. The U of I Community Credit Union, where it's all about you and I achieving financial goals together.
U of I Community Credit Union for the campus and community. Oh, I'm ready.
Dave. I'm a service rep for Cintas, and I help businesses get ready. From large factories to local garages, 5-star hotels to the smallest cafes, you rely on me and Cintas for fresh mats, crisp uniforms, cleaning programs, safety solutions, and fire protection. Getting you ready for business. Get started at Cintas.com. Cintas, ready for the workday.
I'm ready for you. Hope you're ready for me.
If you run a business, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or construction, you know that commercial vans aren't one size fits all. Some vans are too small.
We're gonna have to make 2 trips.
Others too big.
Watch the top! Watch the top!
You need a van that's just right. That's where the Mercedes-Benz Metris comes in. It's the only available mid-size commercial van with unmatched safety features, a 2,500 2-pound payload, and enough cargo space to hold over 60 sheets of 4x8 drywall. It's big enough for the job, yet it's small enough to fit in your garage. It has a service interval of up to 15,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. We won't give you a one-size-fits-all van. We'll do you one better, a commercial van that's sized just right for you. The 2016 midsize Metris. Mercedes-Benz. Vans born to run.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
I'm Jeremy Warner. This is your 3:30 Sports Update brought to you by InformedAthlete.com. The American League champion Cleveland Indians will have a few days to figure out its World Series opponent. Cubs ensured the NLCS will come back to Chicago after they tied the series with a 10-2 win over the Dodgers last night. Cubs bats came alive. Addison Russell snapped a 1-for-25 streak with a 2-run homer, and Anthony Rizzo broke out of his funk with a 3-for-5 night, including a solo shot. Tonight it's a rematch of Game 1 as the Cubs send ace John Lester against Dodgers right-hander Kenta Maeda. First pitch, 7 o'clock. You can hear it on our sister station, Sunny 95.3. Jim Harbaugh didn't even remember that he beat Lovie Smith in their head-to-head matchup as head coaches in the NFL. His Michigan Wolverines are a 36-point favorite against Illinois Saturday at the Big House. Harbaugh did have some nice things to say about the Illini coach.
Great coach. Outstanding person. Don't know him real well, but know a lot of people that do, and everybody speaks very highly of him. And our interactions have been pleasant and good.
Thanks, Jim. Arms race continues in the Big Ten. Iowa's received approval for a near $90 million complete renovation of their north end zone in Kinnick Stadium. Louisville released the formal NCAA allegations against its men's basketball program. While it includes 4 Level 1 infractions, that's the most serious designation given by the NCAA. It does not include a charge of lack of institutional control. Rick Pitino charged with failure to monitor former staffer Andre McGee, so he could be subject to suspension. The Bears and Packers play tonight, too. Green Bay placed running back Eddie Lacy in the injured reserve with an ankle injury. The Bears activated outside linebacker Pernell McPhee. He'll get his first game tonight. Kickoff 7:25. Woo!
You need to remind me at the next break that I need to go in and drop Eddie Lacy and pick up a running back, please. So, Jim Harbaugh, I'm sorry, I have to react on that.
Do you want to play the entire thing? Like he had a 38-second ramble?
Please.
Okay.
If you don't mind. I know you're going to come over here and do it, so I'll get out of your way. Jim Harbaugh, I know this stuff is just him. It's just an act. It's got to be an act. I don't understand how a guy could be just like he is right now, but it's funny stuff with Jim Harbaugh, the Michigan coach, and I think he just loves it. He loves doing this kind of thing, and it's interesting. So I cannot wait to hear. This will be 38 seconds of pure gold. Jim Harbaugh talk. Is the whole thing about Lovie Smith?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is Jim Harbaugh.
Great coach. Outstanding person. Don't know him real well, but
Juan hates the pause.
Know a lot of people that do, and everybody speaks very highly.
Did you say a lot of people that do?
Our interactions have been pleasant and good, and so our task is prepare to play their team, and it'd be a challenge, big game,
sure,
championship type football game for our team, and it's our duty to get prepared for it.
He was asked about like what he saw to Lovie Smith's team, and he goes, "Still working on it."
You know what he is? He's bored this week. This is boring him that Illinois is coming to town. It's just boring him. Like he has.
Well, he's going to try and put up 60-something points. He's going to try to get Jabril Peppers a bunch of touches.
Absolutely.
All that stuff. I mean, he's looking to crush Illinois.
Yes.
And I don't hate that.
No.
I mean,
not at
you're
all.
a Big Ten team.
Yep.
This is the kind of competition you face. So I really don't want to see Illini fans complaining about it.
No, I don't either.
Because you're a Big Ten team, and if you can't stop a Big Ten team from
That's your
scoring
issue.
78 points like Rutgers gave up,
Right.
that's your issue.
Sure.
And he's trying to dominate people.
Yep.
He's trying to recruit over everybody. I can't blame him. Now, you don't want to hurt people.
No.
You're not trying to hurt people.
Absolutely.
But they're going to punish Illinois within the rules, and it's a scary game.
It's just unbelievable. I just get the point that, like, Jim Harbaugh's, like, sitting up there being asked questions going, who are we playing again? Like, who's this? When's Ohio State? Oh, that's not this week? Oh, it's Illinois. Yeah, big game.
I mean, I think we're all counting down to Michigan, Ohio State.
Yes, we are. Yeah, no, I'm with Jim on that.
This segment of the Tay&J Show brought to you by MyBookie.lv. Check out the odds. Get in on the action or just call us at 844-722-BETS. That's MyBookie.lv. Illinois 36-point underdogs.
You taking it?
To Michigan. Well, especially because we don't know who's going to start at quarterback.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know if Warren knows. He didn't say from a source.
Okay.
At practice, we get to see the first 30 minutes if we want and show up. Wes Lunt was dressed. He wasn't taking reps.
Okay.
Chase Crouch was dressed. He wasn't taking reps. These guys are sweaty after practice, so I imagine they're doing something. But Jeff George was taking some snaps.
Okay.
And it got out there, so now I can talk about it. I heard about it and was told to keep it under wraps a little bit, but Trenard Davis, a former receiver and defensive back, is now repping at quarterback.
Really?
So we'll see what they're going to bring out there. But
wow,
if Wes is healthy, I know you don't want to throw him out there against Michigan. I don't want to throw Jeff George out there against Michigan.
No way.
I don't want to throw Chase Crouch out there if he's not fully healthy. But whoever's healthy, if Crouch or Lunt, I play them. If not, I guess you got to go to Jeff George. And I guess for Illini fans, we get to see him.
Right.
I get it. He's Jeff George's son. I get it. He's something different. You'd like to see him. I don't think it's going to go very well.
Let me tell you what's going to happen. If it's Wes Lunt, you've got the entire playbook. I don't know if he's healthy enough, and I'm with you. I don't want to get Wes Lunt crushed. Yeah. But at least if Wes Lunt starts and he's able to go.
But it's okay to not want to get Wes Lunt crushed, but not get.
Well, right.
It's like Jeff George, it's fine. He's a third stringer, whatever.
I don't know, Jeff. No, I'm kidding. But what I mean is that Wes is kind of banged up a little bit.
Right, I've just heard people say that, you don't throw Wes out there, you're just going to save him for next week. And I go, and just throw Jeff George to the Wolves? Is that what we're doing?
Go get him, kid.
Put the walk-on Cameron Miller in there.
Get him.
We'll get you next week.
Hey, this will be something you'll laugh about in 30 years.
Let's prep for Minnesota.
Right. Now, Chase Crouch, if you put him in the game, you've got the playbook scales back a little, obviously. Plus, I'm not sure his throwing ability or his injury with that arm. It didn't look like he wanted to throw much. If you throw Jeff George in there, you're going to see the most vanilla offense you've ever seen in your life.
And there's no running.
It's not like Jeff George is going to come in and just start whipping passes 80 yards downfield.
Well, Jeff has an arm.
No, I know he does.
And in the spring game, he looked really good.
But they're not going to call plays like that.
He never looked that good before it, and he hasn't looked that good since it.
Yes.
So maybe he's a gamer, and maybe you throw him out there at the end of the game if you can start Wes or Chase. But I get on that man just kind of, let's see what we got with him.
I'm not lying. I'd love to see him.
Sure, to see him.
Yeah. If Illinois is down 49
but he's not
3.
He's not the answer.
No, he's not the answer. If Illinois is down 49-3 with 6 minutes left in that game, then throw Jeff George in.
Left in the third quarter?
I know. I'm trying to be nice. If Illinois is down 56-3, is that better? Okay. Then throw Jeff George in and let him actually call a couple of plays.
I think that's going to be my score prediction.
56-3, something like that.
Is that? Yeah.
I think Illinois tacks on an early field goal.
If I told you could get out of this game with a 45-10 loloss,
I'd take it tomorrow.
Take it and run with it?
Yes.
That's covering.
When's homecoming?
That's covering the spread.
Right.
45-10.
Wow.
Win.
Spread's 36.
Yeah.
If you had 100, what are you doing? You taking Michigan?
Giving the points.
I am too. That would be hard, though.
Is that taking the points?
That'd be taking,
I'm going with Michigan.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
That would be interesting. That'd be interesting.
They have like 5 running backs who would all start on Illinois, including Ty Isaac. Remember him?
Yes. I forgot about him. Okay.
On that team.
So he may play in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously he will. I asked you, I thought about it today. Is there one Illinois player out of 22 starters that would start at Michigan? Now, you said DeJuan Smoot, and boom.
Yes, I think DeJuan Smoot would start. Hardy Nickerson?
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, they got good linebackers. Okay. But I think Hardy Nickerson could start
would be
there.
Good enough to play.
And Carroll Phillips?
Maybe Carroll Phillips.
That's about it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, none of those running backs.
So really 20 or 19 out of 22.
None of the offensive line.
No.
Give Allegretti a year, he might be able to start there.
Yeah, I agree.
Malik Turner, they got 2 of the better receivers in the Big Ten. He could play.
Maybe.
For Michigan.
Yeah, he could be that third guy.
Nobody in that secondary.
No. I mean, defensive tackles, no.
So one guy would. I think Nickerson would, too.
Yeah,
so I'll go
too.
2.
Okay.
Maybe 3 with Phillips.
So if we had an all-star team where we combine teams, Illinois would have 2 starters, maybe 3. Okay. That would be interesting.
But that tells you the difference
big time.
of these 2 programs.
Huge.
It's the same with Ohio State as well. You know, Wisconsin, I think you'd have more guys. And Nebraska, I think you'd even have more guys that would start on those teams. But that's how big the gap is, I think, from Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama.
Yeah.
Maybe Clemson.
Is Louisville going to get are they going to get back in that? No.
I mean, have they ever been in that?
No.
I mean, they got the best player in college football.
Right.
That was
I
the
see
most
what you're
electric.
saying in terms of the gap. I see what you're saying.
I'm just saying the entire roster, the gap between those teams and the rest.
Yeah, that's it.
Like even that second tier. I mean, Wisconsin and Nebraska are in the second tier. We saw Nebraska.
Yeah.
That's a good team.
Yeah, Illinois played well against
That's not
Nebraska.
an elite team.
No, it's not. Not at all. But I see where you're going. I mean, really, when you think about that, it's probably those 3 teams. Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan. They're the 3 best teams in college football.
If Texas A&M beat Alabama, which I don't think they will this weekend, I think you could start putting them into that realm. Which, hey, Kevin Sumlin, what a year!
Right.
He was on the hot seat, but I think whoever loses, if they're undefeated going into the regular season finale, whoever loses Ohio State, Michigan is going to be should be in the Final Four.
I agree, totally agree.
Even with a loss, and they're not going to play in the Big Ten championship game. But just watching those teams against everybody else, I don't think it's a question so far.
Is this Sumlin's 5th year at A&M? He came in when Beckman came in, right?
Yeah, he had the same timeline as Beckman. Okay. This would have been Beckman's 5th year.
So really you're starting to see now all of Sumlin's recruits, and I think he's going to be fine. And I agree that he had the year, and it was a little perilous, but I think Kevin Sumlin's going to be fine at A&M. They're good.
Yeah.
They're really good.
I want to talk about replay.
Okay.
In Major League Baseball, because that play last night, I get by the rule overturning that was difficult because of the camera angles with the Adrian Gonzalez, but he sure looks safe.
Yeah, he looked safe to me too.
And here's my problem with replay in baseball. It feels like where we were with football a couple years ago, where we don't have yet what we need to actually do replay. They got to have more camera angles. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right.
You do.
And it leads to this. What do you think of replay? Has it helped baseball? Is it hurting baseball? Do you not like it?
It's grown on me. It's grown on me now to the point where I'm glad it's there. At first, I fought it. I fought it at first. I understand the old argument, and you yelled at me a few times about saying, but if you can get it right, why wouldn't you get it right?
Yeah.
But just all my life is just the fact that I never had replay. So to me, it was just the human element involved.
Yeah, and that's the phrase we always give, the human element. Well, the human element gets it wrong about 30% of the time when it comes to strikes, balls and strikes, or it comes to plays like in the field, and yet we accept that.
Right.
I don't understand that just because it's the way it's been, because those same people who argue for human element are yelling at their TVs when the umpires clearly get it wrong because we have the tools at home that they don't have.
That's exactly right.
We have slow-mo replay, or we can see the box of the strike zone, and they don't have those things. And those same human elementers love to yell about umpires screwing up games. I don't understand that.
I get it. I think what's interesting to me, if you think about it, okay, how many pitches are there a game? 200 pitches a game minimum. So you've got 200 pitches a game, and the only replay we have is on the one play that usually during a regular Major League Baseball game in game 64 of the season, the only replay you have is the punch out at first where it's a close bang-bang play, so we go to the replay. but 200 times a game, you sit there and you have an umpire that's calling his strike zone, which is different for every umpire. But yet I don't want to be the guy. Like, what are you going to have, like some box on an umpire like that?
No.
So in other words, if it hits the box, all of a sudden his right arm buzzes, so he calls strike?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No. You watch HBO Real Sports.
What did they?
They just had a story on this about an automated strike zone.
Really?
And they found out that it's between 25 and 30% of calls between an inch or 2 inches of the strike zone are wrong.
Wow.
That they are called wrong in Major League Baseball. And they have a system where it's the same thing. It's pitch tracks, or TV. All that stuff is not just like one strike zone they have for every guy.
Okay.
They have a strike zone that is made individualized for every guy based on what they see before the game. All that work goes into that.
That's interesting.
So whatever it is, TBS or whatever, ESPN, Pitch Tracks does all that stuff before the game. So
they take into account height,
customized for every guy.
Wow.
And I know a lot of people are like, well, what are we going to have? The umpire looking at a screen on there? Or is there even going to be a home plate umpire? Yes. There's going to be a home plate umpire. He's going to have an earbud in his ear, and right when that pitch goes in, they know if it's a strike or ball.
Boom.
And they tell it to him, and he goes, strike.
Okay.
There's no lag. It's just strike or ball.
That's interesting. That would be interesting.
Would you like that?
You know what? In a weird way, I would. Because
it's not going to influence the way you watch the game.
No.
Right? It's just about getting it right.
I think
now umpires are probably against it.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
They're like, oh, we've been doing this forever.
Right.
We're the old school way. But
now we're robots.
If you can get it right, isn't that the point?
And I'll put it this way: there is nothing more frustrating to me as a baseball fan, especially when the playoffs come around. Let's take tonight. Take tonight, and I'm not going against the Cubbies here, but I'm going to use this as an example. Let's say John Lester is getting his little that pitch he throws, that cutter almost on the inside corner. Let's say he's getting that call all night against righties, and it's still a half an inch off the plate for a ball. And LA's up there taking it, and it's strike. That can change the complexion of a game in a heartbeat. I've seen it too many times.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a bad thing to me.
Yeah.
In other words, I get more, and I just use Lester as an example. I've seen this in the past. I've seen it work for the Cardinals, where Adam Wainwright gets that old Uncle Charlie curve that sometimes shouldn't be a strike.
Mm-hmm.
He gets that call from a certain umpire, and as soon as he gets that call in his prime, the other team, they're done. They're not going to hit that.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that's the one thing that aggravates me in baseball is it when an umpire has a certain strike zone and they're allowing a certain pitcher a certain pitch that isn't a strike, and you're handcuffing the other team.
And it's usually like the superstar
and
call,
it is.
Right?
That's exactly
Maddox
right.
got that for years.
Maddox got it. He was the key to that. He would just keep nibbling outside to see how far he could go.
I think there's a lot of hypocrites out there that love boast about this human element.
Right.
And I even heard Bryant Gumbel after the story. He hated the story because he doesn't want more replay. He's old school.
He's old school.
And he goes, oh, it's because of the integrity of the game. I go, well, isn't getting the calls wrong bad for the integrity of the game?
I would agree.
I think it's just hypocritical. I understand change is hard.
It is. It is hard.
And there are things that need to improve with replay, and you don't change it to automated balls and strikes unless the technology is perfect. But watch the HBO Sports.
I want to see that.
Real Sports.
I want to see that.
On this, because it changes your mind of what actually automated balls and strikes would be, because you still have an umpire there.
Right.
You still have everybody else out in their field. It looks like a real game, only you're getting the calls more correct.
Yep.
More often.
I want to see that. Now, to that, after we've just regurgitated all of that, you have to give these Major League Baseball umpires credit.
Oh, it's the worst job in the world.
Amen. They're watching 96-mile-an-hour balls and do everything you can.
I feel bad for them because we, as viewers, we have more tools than they do.
Right. And
we have more resources than they do to make the correct calls. And I think that's what replay is supposed to be there for.
Exactly.
We screwed that call up. Let's not be the goats of this game.
Right.
Let's get the play right.
Yep.
And I still don't know if they got that play right yesterday.
I agree.
And maybe you need more tools. Maybe you need more cameras, whatever it is.
Shouldn't we have a drone? Can't we have a drone just hovering around?
Well, Trevor Bauer's going to get hurt again. That's
keep
problem.
Trevor Bauer away from it. But it is interesting, even in that Rich Hill game, when once in a while his curveball looked like a strike.
Yeah.
But yet it wasn't crossing the plate where that umpire wanted it to cross. And there were other times you're thinking, whoa, that's got to be a ball.
Yeah.
But when you looked at it from above, his curve crossed the plate where that umpire saw it, saying that's a strike.
Yeah.
And so and what I'm saying there is, I give these major league umpires credit that they're able to get as much of that.
I'm not saying
I can't
the umpires
imagine
are terrible. Like they've improved.
Oh no, sure.
But I do think why not give them the most tools
I'm
possible?
with you. That would be
so
so interesting to see that. And have an umpire. I bet umpires would hate it.
I think a lot of the ones.
Can you imagine this little? There's just a little annoying buzz that goes in their right arm. They're like,
yeah.
Ball. That'd be kind of funny to watch that.
Basically, it makes it easier to be an umpire.
It would be.
You can get more people doing it.
Now they'll call home plate. They'll call that the rocking chair instead of third base.
The rise of the machine is going to take over. Saad of Sharma, theathletic.com. We'll talk some Cubs at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. Ira Weintraub, co-host of the Michigan Insider, will join us at 5:25. We got Ask Jay at 5:45. Send your Illini questions to me at Jay Werner Scout or text us at 217-359-2255. Tiger Woods expresses doubt about his future, but also some confidence.
I'm going to do some preparation for this because I'm going to read this article in the next 3 minutes. It is the Tay and Jay Show.
This is Eric Bolin with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker? When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Hi, my name is Fred Wakefield. I'm a former Fighting Illini football player, 8-year NFL veteran, and now a graduate of the University of Illinois MBA program. I decided to get MBA because before I was ever a professional athlete, I was a student and someone wanting to really go into the business world. The best part about the MBA experience with the University of Illinois was the people involved in the program. Professors who were absolutely outstanding, fellow students who I still lean on a regular basis. I would definitely recommend Illinois' MBA program. Talked to a few different people about it. One guy actually played in the NFL for a number of years and called and asked about it. And I know that it's a program that continues to grow. I just think it's made a world of difference for me, and it will continue to as I progress through life and business. My University of Illinois MBA has allowed me not just the confidence, but also the tools to be able to move forward and continue to grow in business.
Earn your professional MBA 2 nights a week. Find out more at professionalmba.illinois.edu. That's professionalmba.illinois.edu.
DP Dough is the original Calzone company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original Calzone company. Are you at your best when the whistle blows? With Carl Sports Medicine, you can jump higher, run faster, and be on your game every time. Take advantage of our professional athletic training services, plus injury prevention and free sports medicine walk-in clinics with injury experts. Get ready to reach your personal best. Visit carl.org/sportsmedicine or call 217-383-3300. Carl, official medical provider of Fighting Illini Athletics.
Game Day Spirit Fan Store is your destination for local high school merchandise this season. They now have a full line of Under Armour merchandise for Centennial, Central, Muhammad Seymour, Unity, and Urbana high schools. Want to receive special deals, discounts, and exclusive looks at new merchandise for your school? Text Local HS to 555-888 to be a VIP insider for your school. That's Local HS to 555-888 to be the talk of your town. Good luck to all the local teams playing this weekend from Game Day Spirit Fan Store, your local destination for high school and Fighting Illini apparel.
You know who's going to win the game, right? Now is the time to join the thousands of online players at MyBookie, because this is the last week MyBookie will match your deposit with a 100% bonus. Just use promo code RADIO to activate the 100% bonus offer, but you have to act this week to get your 100% bonus at MyBookie. You're wasting your time betting anywhere else. They have in-game live betting, so you can even place a bet after kickoff. And unlike some other websites you might find, MyBookie offers fast, no-hassle payouts when you win. Real Vegas odds and incredible player props. And this is the last week MyBookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar up to $1,000 when you use the promo code RADIO. So join now. Pull out your smartphone and sign up with their user-friendly mobile site. You play, you win, you get paid. Visit mybookie.lv or call 844-900-BETS and take advantage of the final week to get your 100% deposit bonus. Expert or rookie, you gotta check out MyBookie. Sign up today.
Join Firehouse on 6th Street in Campustown for a great weekend full of sports. Friday, the Blackhawks take on the Blue Jackets at 6 p.m. Be back Saturday. Firehouse opens at 11 a.m. for all the college football action. You can watch it all day long at Firehouse, including the Illini-Michigan game at 2:30. Saturday night, be back at Firehouse for the Blackhawks as they take on Toronto at 6 p.m. Firehouse has the NHL Center Ice package, as this game is not on local TV in Central Illinois. Then at 7 p.m., the NLCS Game 6. Cubs take on the Dodgers. It's all this weekend at Firehouse, 6th Street in Campustown, and online at firehouse.com.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Well, Jeremy, it's the final week of high school football, I think, right? This is crazy. The J.T. Walker's High School Sports Showcase. You can hear it on US 105.9 this week. Unity and Bloomington Central Catholic. As always, J.T. Walker's High School Sports Showcase, brought to you by Carl Sports Medicine, Illini Mattress, Country Financial, Jesse DeHaan, Roof Doctors, InformedAthlete.com, Hanson's Auto Repair. Saturday's matchup between Unity and Bloomington Central, also sponsored by
Muma Trucking, Freeze Funeral Home, Rod Schweier and Keller Williams Realty, Minuteman Press, Monaco's Pizza in Tolono, Exact Extraction, Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning, Unity Bloomington Central Catholic, Friday night, 7 o'clock, only on US 105.9.
This is what happens when your conference isn't that big. You've got St. Joe traveling to Robinson. You've got Unity and Bloomington Central Catholic. You got to go outside the league to play, and certainly these schools like St. Joe and Unity and Monticello, they're not scared to play some of the big boys. So that should be a good game this week.
Yeah, we'll preview some of the high school football action, final week of the regular season. One team I know is going for an undefeated record over in Monticello.
Yes, they are. They're having a great season. Coley Welter, he's a heck of a coach.
All right, here's from Tiger Woods. He sat down with Charlie Rose of PBS. The interview going to air tonight.
Awesome.
Here's Charlie Rose asked him about his 14 major championships and asked if he would pass up Jack Nicklaus. Quote, "To be honest with you, no," Woods said when asked if he could catch Nicklaus's mark. Asked by Rose if he has accepted that, Woods said, quote, "I've accepted, I'm going to get more," unquote.
Interesting.
When he was later asked if he meant he intends to break Nicklaus's mark, Woods simply said, quote, "Correct."
He's
unquote.
like Jim Harbaugh here.
Woods, who regards Nicklaus as one of his heroes, was asked by Rose if the icon is the greatest golfer to have played the game. Woods said, quote, "I think I'm pretty good too. I think he and I would have a hell of a duel back in the day." He continued, quote, "I looked up to him. I looked at his record. I wouldn't say I lusted for his record."
Oh, bad choice of words.
I just think that was the gold standard because he had won the most majors and the second most tour events, and here he is at 18. And what would it mean to Woods if he doesn't get to Nicklaus's mark? Woods told Rose, quote, "I didn't get there." Unquote.
Interesting. All right. Listen, don't think for a second this doesn't eat and gnaw at Tiger Woods. He grew up in his house with the 18 majors on his wall. He knows exactly what he wants before he's out of golf, and it's to break that record.
Yeah.
For him to sit here and say, nah, then that means I just didn't get it. No, that's not true. Tiger Woods is a competitor, and the other line...
He's the ultimate competitor.
He's the ultimate competitor. The other line that I love is, I think he and I would have had a hell of a duel back in the day. I would give anything to see young Jack and young Tiger go at it, because what could Tiger do? He could absolutely intimidate anybody on a golf course. Jack Nicklaus wouldn't be intimidated. Jack was not Tiger. He wasn't one of those where,
physically.
Well, right, and I don't think Jack didn't sit there and give out the impression like, oh, geez, I'm scared to death of that guy.
Yeah.
But Jack Nicklaus would not have backed down. I guarantee you that. That would have been fun to see those two in their prime.
He was asked if he had any regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Tiger's had plenty of moments where he can think about regrets.
Come on,
he said,
a little older, you're like...
quote, if you look back, the only regret I have in life is not spending another year at Stanford.
That's it.
And I wish I would have had one more year.
Well,
when pressed about the scandal and controversy that has followed him since his publicized divorce in 2010, Woods stood by his statement. Quote, all the things I've been through are tough, yes. They've been tough, but they've been great for me. But I wish I would have gone one more year at Stanford. Unquote.
Back to that again. Back to the 1 year at Stanford. That's interesting.
I don't know. I think there'd be more regrets.
Mm-hmm.
He got the heck out of Stanford and had a pretty good career.
Boy, he was good back then, though, wasn't he? Like when all the bad stuff was
Do you think
happening.
Jordan Spieth? Oh, yeah.
Tiger
you think Jordan Spieth like regrets not going another year at Texas?
No, not at all.
No.
Maybe as you get older, you think, well, that would have been fun to go back for one more year.
Yeah.
I think we'd all love to have one more year at college.
Enjoy youth a little bit more.
Yes, exactly.
Because, I mean, he had to grow up quick.
He did. He totally did.
And all those things about being a prodigy and being, one of the greatest.
Well, I mean, he was pushed. I mean, his father pushed him, no doubt about it. And
all those guys, whether it's Michael Jackson or whatever.
Right.
Macaulay Culkin.
Mm-hmm.
They get a little screwed up when you don't really have a childhood like a normal childhood.
It is interesting, though. We just went in a complete golf season without Tiger Woods. Yeah. Just went an entire golf
14
season.
14 months. I mean, he's been...
And you know what?
He's been irrelevant for a really long time.
He's ranked.
The game has passed him up.
Yep. What was it? He spent. I read a stat, and I'm going to get it wrong.
I mean, he's still a huge story. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
And when he plays, there's going to be focus on him.
Yep.
But so many guys have passed him up that I love that he's a competitor, and he's like, "Oh, I'm still going for this record," but he knows it's not going to happen.
No, absolutely.
If he gets one more,
that would be incredible.
That'd be a heck of a story.
It would be incredible.
It's been since what, 2008?
Yeah. And what was it, about 2 or 3 years ago, where he actually won 5 or 6 tournaments? He was PGA Player of the Year. He didn't win a major, but you felt like, all right, he's on the cusp of coming back and being Tiger, and then it didn't happen again. He's just beat up. I mean, he's just beat up. His body is worn down. It's beat up, and it makes you wonder, because he's one of the first guys to really bulk up, and it makes you wonder, is he too big?
He's 40 years old.
Yeah, and by the way, he's 40.
I mean, how many did Jack win after 40?
Well, he won He won when he was 46. I think he won 40. I think he won 3 after 40. I think it was 3 after 40.
And that only gets you to
you're right.
17.
That's crazy.
And Jack was better then, healthier then.
He was healthier. Yeah. So that'd be a tough road for Tiger, but I think golf's in good shape. It's still in good shape even without him, but it would be neat to have him come back.
Let's talk some Cubs. We'll also ask him about some Indians as well. So Hottest Sharma, theathletic.com, will join us coming up next. We also have Ira Weintraub, co-host, the Michigan Insider, join us in the 5 o'clock hour.
All right, we'll do it all next. It is the Tay and Jay Show. This Mettler tip is brought to you by Matthew Gordon, Doctor of Physical Therapy at the Mettler Center.
A proper warm-up increases heart rate, breathing rate, as well as the oxygen and blood flow delivered to muscles. You need to make sure that your warm-up is warming up the muscles that you are about to use. There is no one-size-fits-all for warm-ups. If you're going to go out and start jogging, walk a little bit and then build into a jog. If you are getting ready to do weighted squats, try starting out with just body weight squats.
For more fitness and wellness advice, click on Ask an Expert at MettlerCenter.com.
Hi, it's Corey with Max Twin City Recycling. We pride ourselves on giving the area an outlet to recycle and get paid for their unwanted metals. We're taking our community focus a step further with our Recycling for a Cause program. Each month, Max Twin City will choose a different local charity to feature in an effort to raise money for those causes. Visit maxrecycling.com for a complete list of program details.
Think you've got it bad when you don't get your favorite spot for tailgating? Early tailgating dates back to the Civil War era and the Battle of Bull Run. Imagine picking a stray musket ball out of your wife's guacamole dip. Tailgating's come a long way since that era, and the drinks have come a long way too. Be sure to grab your growlers and canned 4-packs from JT Walker's in downtown Mahomet. While you're there, be sure to grab some of JT's famous wings and stick around and catch all the NFL action on Sunday Ticket. JTWalkers.com.
Thinking of quitting your job one day? You will need a good wealth advisor at a strong financial institution to help make that happen. Heartland Bank's wealth management team will discuss your long-term objectives, then help you develop and implement a strategy to achieve your goals. Call or visit Heartland Bank online at hptbank.com.
Securities and insurance products are not deposits of Heartland Bank, not FDIC insured, not guaranteed by or obligations of the bank, and are subject to potential fluctuation in return and possible loss of principal.
At Body and Soul, they take pride in giving you the perfect fit for your athletic shoes. Their team of experts will help you in selecting the style that fits your purpose and your feet. Body and Soul has offered the best prices and best quality for more than 30 years. And they aren't just shoes. Whether it's walking, running, swimming, or biking, or whether it's for you or the whole team, visit Mike or Jed and their experienced staff at Body and Soul, Route 45 Savoy. Call 356-8926 or visit soulsports.com.
The hunt is on, and Gander Mountain has the best deals on the hunting gear you need. From guns and bows to camo and calls, we have all the new products from the best brands, plus Gander exclusives to take you from knockdown to drag out. So gear up at Gander Mountain and get after it. This week, save $60 on the Gander Mountain Invisible one-person blind, now $99.99. And save 50% on Buck Bomb Deer Corn, now only $3.99. We live for this. We live outdoors. Gander Mountain.
Live from the Habib BPC studios, this is WSJK Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Live from New York, the Fox Report.
I'm Chris Foster. He's been claiming the election's rigged, but Donald Trump makes a promise at a rally in Ohio.
I will totally accept the results of this great and historic presidential election if I win.
But seriously, though, he says he will accept what he calls a clear election result, but reserves the right to go to court to challenge a questionable one. President Obama campaigning for Hillary Clinton in Miami.
She doesn't point fingers. She doesn't complain. She doesn't whine. She just works harder.
He gave a speech talking up the Affordable Care Act earlier this afternoon. An American soldier has been killed in northern Iraq.
All we know so far is that it was from injuries sustained from an IED, a roadside bomb. There are over 300 special forces helping in the battle to retake Mosul, though the Pentagon has said they are not on the front lines. Today was the fiercest fighting so far in this battle, as Kurdish and Iraqi troops moved ever closer to Mosul, village by village. U.S. airstrikes helped to soften targets, today liberating the Christian town of Bartella. But ISIS fighters are so dug in that many appear from every village. Today we also spoke to people from inside Mosul who told us that ISIS fighters are all over that city, waiting and ready.
Fox's Benjamin Hall in Erbil, Iraq. A Milwaukee police officer who wasn't charged with a crime after fatally shooting a civilian in August is now charged with sexual assault. The criminal complaint says Dominique Hegan-Brown took the victim, another man, to a bar where they watched riots over the shooting on TV. Then the man claims he felt drugged and woke up to find the officer sexually assaulting him. On Wall Street, the Dow down 40 points today, the S&P lower by about 3, the NASDAQ drops 4, and you're on the Fox Report. Fair and balanced.
I've been teaching organic chemistry for the last 17 years, so I'm pretty good with complex calculations. But when I started thinking about my retirement, I was pretty stumped. Luckily, I have TIAA as my financial partner. Together, we retrosynthetically analyzed my financial future, which is organic chem speak for we figured it out.
Your personal success takes a financial partner who values it as much as you do. Learn more at TIAA.org.
America is taking the lead in energy.
Leading the world in oil and natural gas production. I vote to keep it going. With the right policies, we can produce, refine, and supply
more oil and natural gas.
And more abundant energy means more affordable energy for American families.
A more secure America.
Jobs.
Opportunity and economic growth.
For our children
and grandchildren.
That's why this election,
I'm voting
for American energy.
Learn more at voteforenergy.org.
Join us and become an energy voter.
Brought to you by American Petroleum Institute.
The TV viewership for last night's presidential debate, about 70 million people, according to Nielsen's early estimates. That's more than the second debate, fewer than the first. They may like it or not, but Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will be in the same room at least one more time tonight at the Al Smith Dinner in New York. It's an annual Catholic charity event where the presidential candidates tell jokes about each other and themselves. WikiLeaks releases another wave of emails hacked from Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta.
This email dump shows a Clinton campaign bandied about other slogans before settling on I'm with her. They considered Next Begins With You, Hillary, for fairness for families, and building a fairer future today. In one email, longtime supporter Roy Spence talks about the Sony hack and asks Podesta if the campaign should point out Clinton's server was not hacked. He replies, reluctant to go there, makes it seem like she consciously went to the home server for security reasons, which would fall apart under scrutiny. Another email shows Podesta's daughter making fun of Clinton, talking about wiping her server with a cloth, saying it was scarier than expected. In Washington, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
Bullfighting is once again allowed in a part of Spain that attempted to ban it.
The Spanish region of Catalonia banned bullfighting in 2010 following pressure from animal rights groups. But today, Spain's top court overruling that decision, saying bullfighting is part of the country's heritage and therefore it could only be outlawed by the central government in Madrid. There is probably a bit of politics at play here. Catalonia's government wants independence from Spain and likes to distance itself. The central government is determined to keep the country intact.
Fox's Simon Owen. Nintendo announces a new gaming system to be released in March called the Switch. It's a portable handheld device with detachable controllers and a dock to connect it to a TV at home. In New York, I'm Chris Foster, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Need a heating expert? Call Chief Bauer Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, chance of rain, very slight. A low of 41. Tomorrow, chilly. High 56, sunny, clear. Low of 36. Warm and nice on Saturday and Sunday, though. Saturday, sunny, clear. High 65, a low of 46. Right now, mostly cloudy, pretty windy as well. 57 in Champaign-Urbana.
It is the Tay and Jay Show, ESPN Radio 93.5 Latte. Jeremy Warner. Are we going to actually talk some NBA this hour?
Yeah, a little bit. It's right around the corner.
It's starting up soon.
And your Sixers, Ben Simmons out for a while. Joel Embiid's back, though, so you take one out, you add the other one. It's like all these red shirt years.
Oh, right, exactly. I was just finally kind of excited about but about focusing in a little bit on my Sixers, but now I won't.
Sure you were. You're going to watch a lot of Sixers.
I think if Ben Simmons
would
have been healthy, I think I would
have.
I
mean, you had those two guys to your roster.
Stinking Sixers.
This hour of the Tay and Jay Show brought to you by your Cubs headquarters.
Yes.
Which is Bunny's Tavern in downtown Urbana. 13 TVs, inside, outside. The patio is heated. Phenomenal food. It's a Cubs watching headquarters. Go watch Game 5 there of the NLCS tonight.
It is time to head to the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line and talk Cubs baseball with our guy from theathletic.com, Sahadev Sharma. Sahadev, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, guys. Just getting a last cup of coffee before I actually head to the ballpark.
I was going to say, do you have to, if you've got to be at the park at, let's say, 4 o'clock, do you leave L.A. time at 8 a.m. just to get there with all the traffic?
Remarkably, it hasn't been that bad. My biggest issue is I'm staying downtown, and even the people that live here, the taxis and the Ubers that have been taking me around, get lost in a second.
Wow.
All these upper and lower levels, and I waited half an hour for my Uber to figure out where I was to get some lunch today. It's crazy. It's more confusing than any city I've been in.
Yeah, I was at Chavez Ravine this year, Sahadev, and it's kind of on a hill. Like when you get in there, you don't feel. At least I was like, oh, this isn't some ridiculous park.
Right.
But then you get to the top of the park and you see those views. That's what stands out. What do you think of Chavez Ravine?
Yeah, I mean, as far as just the vistas and everything, it's great. I love the history of the ballpark. We kind of have to walk around in the bowels of the stadium, and it's really nicely decorated in the sense that they show all the MVP awards, all the Cy Young awards, all the Silver Sluggers, the Gold Gloves, and the Dodgers have this long history of winning all those awards, and it's really cool to see that. It's kind of funny because it takes a good 10 minutes to get into the visitors clubhouse
Right.
and go through this maze to get there. But outside of that, it's a nice old school ballpark. Those old school ballparks have their pluses and minuses, especially when you're in the media. But I can appreciate the history of it.
Sure.
Like I said, displaying all those the World Series trophies and all those other awards is a really cool aspect.
Sahadev, before we get into last night's game and the Cubs being back, I wanted to ask you, just covering this team in this playoffs, what's this experience been like?
It's been kind of remarkable in the sense that we saw this team all season long do their thing, and for me, what stood out was the end of the Giants series. We've seen them do that comeback all second half. They did it repeatedly. It didn't happen much in the first half, but then it happened. I think the first one was the Seattle comeback, and then it seemed like it happened almost every other day. It was happening, and they just pull off these crazy comebacks. When you count them out, they're never out. People were acting like the series was over after they got shut out back-to-back games. That was ugly. You don't want to see that. But one of those games was Kershaw. The second game was really concerning just because I thought there were hittable pitches. But Hill's a tough pitcher. And the confidence was lost all around outside the team. But you know that this team, they don't lose the confidence. If we went by Twitter, the Cubs have been eliminated half a dozen times this season. But it's nice to see that they can come out there and shake off really poor performances and put up 10 runs like they did last night.
Speaking of Twitter, you can follow Sahadev on Twitter. It's at Sahadev Sharma. Now, my buddy Jeremy and I argue all the time, and I tell him bunting is the biggest thing you can do in baseball. And look what happened. They bunted last night, Sahadev, and the next thing you know, they scored 10 runs.
I think just saying I don't like bunting is a little ignores what's really going on here. Bunting for a hit, bunting to make something happen, bunting to wake up a team. I can understand that.
Sure.
When you're bunting for a hit, that makes perfect sense. You're not trying to just move a runner over. You're not giving away an out. That's not your goal. You're trying to put pressure on the defense, and you're trying to make something happen. I can appreciate that. And, Zobrist is the type to do that.
Sure.
Zobrist, someone looked up a funny stat. The last cleanup hitter to lay down a bunt in a postseason game was 2011, Ben Zobrist.
Oh, wow. Well, it worked. It worked again for him last night.
Sahadev, what did last night? Obviously, that play at the plate with Adrian Gonzalez took away some of their momentum, but it also allowed the Cubs to score first.
Yeah.
What do you think those first couple runs meant for that team?
Oh, there's no doubt it meant a lot. Madden was hammering that home before the game. They needed that. They just needed some confidence to pick up. They needed to remember what it was like to celebrate those big runs, to feel what it's like to get runs across the board. It seems like such a little thing, but it's been a while, and it was almost like there was. I think if it had extended even further into the game, or if they found themselves down a run or two, they would have started pressing again, and you don't want them to press. Just be relaxed at the plate, do what comes natural, and they're a good offensive club, but you never want to see a team pressing, and you started to wonder, are they pressing after 18 straight shutout innings, and then you get 3 hit lists from Urias. They squander that early scoring opportunity, and you're thinking, here we go again. I don't know if that crept into their minds at all. Zobrist kind of said, it was big for them. Zobrist was willing to admit that they needed that. They needed that offensive outburst, not so much because they doubted themselves, just because you don't. I mean, that's nice. It feels good to remember how to do that and to prove to yourself, yes, we can do this, and pretty easily.
Well, it's nice to get that when Lackey's pitching, too. You don't necessarily need it with Lester out on that hill, and you'll have him tonight. What is your thoughts, Sahadev? Everybody in the world's talking about it with regards to Kershaw. It sounds like Dave Roberts is going to hold him to Game 6, so you'd have Kershaw and Hill going 6-7 on full day's rest. I mean, is that something in your mind that is a good move, or are you thinking they should go Kershaw in Game 5 tonight?
I thought unless they were up 3-1, they should pitch Kershaw today. But Kershaw threw a full side session yesterday, so it became clear there was no way he was pitching today.
Okay. Got it.
My guess is, I haven't read every quote or heard every quote from Roberts, but my guess is this was a Kershaw decision, saying, my guess is he probably admitted to Roberts, whether he'll admit it to us or not, that he was a little tired. He was going all fastball against the Cubs pretty much, and they squared him up. That's the best I've seen the Cubs square up a guy like Kershaw, and nothing fell. So maybe there was a little luck involved there, and full day's rest could be big for him, and that's a dangerous guy come Game 6. So maybe this is just what's best for him and the Dodgers as far as the best performance he can give them. Maeda, I'd be surprised if the Cubs lose one tonight. Maeda just does not look like a strong, like he's able to give a strong performance right now.
I agree.
And the way the Cubs attacked him last time, the bullpen's going to be tired, but Blanton didn't pitch yesterday, and neither did Jansen. So if the Dodgers do get a lead, they could that could be dangerous for the Cubs because people are assuming that the bullpen's tired because of the short outing yesterday from Urias. But the key guys didn't go, so I could definitely see their bullpen being impressive. But the Cubs need to get to Maeda early, and Lester just needs to be Lester. I'd be surprised if we don't see both of those things happen, and the Cubs come home with the lead, ready to clinch.
Yeah, and the Dodgers really struggle against lefties, especially a guy like Lester that you feel really comfortable with. Cubs lineup tonight: Fowler, Bryant, Rizzo, Zobrist, Baez, Hayward, Russell, and David Ross doing the catching. Just what have you made of Joe Madden? I mean, he's done a little bit of tinkering, but he hasn't done as much tinkering, I think, as most fans have done.
Right.
Yeah, right. He sticks with his guys. I think yesterday, if you had, even a lot of the media would have said sit Russell yesterday. Some were even saying sit Rizzo, which to me was mind-boggling. Wow. I don't. There's no way Joe is going to do that. I could see the argument for sitting Russell, but I mean, then your up the middle defense just takes such a hit, and that's such a big part of this team, the defense. So he made the right call. Obviously, those two guys went 6 for 7 after 6 for their last 7 to end the game yesterday. So I think you'll take that. If their confidence is up, they're feeling better at the plate. Great move by Joe to stick with his guys. I think you can nitpick and say, what's Hayward doing batting? I believe he's batting 6th tonight. It's Joe being Joe. He's the lefty against a righty, and Hayward can, I don't know what Hayward is on offense.
I agree.
I think it's so. That's Joe sticking with his guy there. Maybe that's not the best decision, but I don't think that's something that comes back to bite you. I think sticking with guys like Rizzo and Russell are the things we should really focus on with Joe because he got that right.
So, the last one for you. Last week we had a poll question, and it was which of the remaining teams as a Cubs fan scares you most? And most of them, we had 51% say the Toronto Blue Jays. Right. And I kept saying the Cleveland Indians have the look of a scary team.
They really do.
They remind me of the Royals. What have you made of that team, and what could be the big challenge of them if in the next series if the Cubs get there?
Yeah, that's a really perplexing team. We know the story. The beat writer, one of their beat writers, said they were dead in the water a week or two before the playoffs even started because of all the injuries. I'm thoroughly shocked that they've done as well as they have. Andrew Miller's just a different sort of animal, maybe the best pitcher in baseball right now for what he can do, the way you can utilize him, the way Francona has utilized him. Francona deserves a ton of credit. There's no other manager that's as aggressive with his bullpen and makes it work the way he does. I'm impressed by what they've done. For me, it makes as much sense as when the Cubs got shut out in back-to-back games. I don't have a clear explanation for it, and I don't really know what to expect. The Cubs broke out yesterday, and I was like, okay, I can see either way. They continue to scuffle, or they break out and got the breakout. I could see it either way. The Cubs just dominate the Indians, or the Cleveland just the pitching does what it's done. They have a strong defense, a big improvement upon last year, that was a big issue for them last year. Their strength was their starting pitching, and then all of a sudden they don't need that, and that doesn't make sense to me. It's just really, when you lose your strength and suddenly you're still a great team. It's an odd situation, and just goes to props to the front office for building a depth. Props to Terry Francona for being so creative and making it all work. And the offense is strong. It does enough. They have a budding superstar in Francisco Lindor, local guy in Kipnis who's a solid player. But they have all these little pieces that just somehow add up to a World Series team. And I would not overlook them. I agree with that poll that Toronto was scary, but look at how the Indians just shut down an offense that was on a roll.
And the Red Sox.
Yeah, and the Red Sox. I mean, so do not overlook this team. On paper, it makes no sense, but I think you can say that about the playoffs all the time.
Amen.
Things sometimes just don't make sense.
They've lost one game in this postseason. I love the Sahada Sharma. They've lost all that, and they're still good. That makes no sense. Sahada Sharma, great stuff, buddy. TheAthletic.com. It's a definite great read, and read Sahada's stuff there, and follow him on Twitter, @Sahada Sharma. Enjoy L.A., buddy. Enjoy Game 5.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. Take care.
Appreciate it. Game 5, man. I love Game 5s. I love Game 5s.
It's the tilt.
Right. Because it's when Game 5 happens, that's not going to decide a series. And I'm thinking more hockey.
Yeah.
I'm going back to my when that happens in hockey. Obviously, every game's important. Any win's important. But we try to emphasize certain games to be more important. Game 5s are always fun. Here you are, 2-2, and you immediately start thinking to yourself, okay, let me take it from a Cubs perspective. If they win tonight, we got to face Kershaw, but we're going back to Wrigley to just win one game out of 2, and this thing's ours.
The scary thing for me is you have Arrieta Game 7. He scares me.
Oh, I know, all of a sudden.
Right?
I agree, and he hadn't scared me until last start.
Yeah, I feel so confident tonight if I'm a Cubs fan.
Oh, I do too.
Because John Lester is just lights out.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
And Kenta Maeda hasn't looked comfortable. I mean, Kenta Maeda was great all year, comes over from Korea, has all these pitches, but he just doesn't look comfortable right now.
And he was decent Game 1.
He was decent.
I mean, it was decent Game 1.
But he was battling.
He was battling. And if you're L.A. tonight and you get him through 4 innings of no runs, you get him out. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless he's just absolutely dominant. But then you look at that Game 5 theory from L.A.'s side. You know, if we win tonight, we got Kershaw on the hill for Game 6. Yeah. I mean, so it's just funny how Game 5, I just love him. I love him, and I can't wait to watch this one tonight.
If you want to weigh in, you can. You call the Jupiter's Crossing phone line or text the Cheap Hour text line at 217-359-2255. We have Ask Jay in the 5 o'clock hour. Send your Illini questions to me. I'll answer them on air. You can tweet me at JWarnerScout or text us at 359-2255. NBA right around the corner. 538 has their projections for the season.
Okay.
I find it interesting. They're a little bullish on the Bulls.
Really?
Which is interesting. And the NBA GM survey is always interesting. Who they build a team around, who's going to win MVP.
Oh, cool.
All that stuff. We'll get to that.
I've never read that stuff or heard that stuff. That'll be cool to talk about. We'll do it next. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. It is the Tay and Jay Show.
This fall, the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts remind you that every year more than 20,000 people in the U.S. visit the ER due to carbon monoxide poisoning. So make sure your carbon monoxide detectors work and get a furnace precision tune-up and safety inspection from Chief Bauer Service Experts for just $79. Normally $120. That's a $41 savings. You'll also save up to 30% on energy bills, and you'll get a written 100% satisfaction guarantee. Call 866-EXPERTS or schedule your tune-up online at chiefbauer.com.
Bunny's Tavern is your home for the 2016 Cubs postseason run. Nothing beats watching baseball over an ice-cold beer. So enjoy $13.50 mix-and-match domestic buckets and $6 PBR pitchers 7 days a week. You'll catch every minute of Cubs playoff action on Bunny's 13 big-screen TVs, whether you're inside or enjoying the largest heated patio in Urbana. With delicious daily lunch and dinner specials, Bunny's Tavern is the perfect spot to settle in for a historic postseason run. Bunny's Tavern, your home for the 2016 Cubs postseason.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. Finding the perfect solution for you, guiding you through the options, helping you through a claim, and adapting to your evolving needs. Since 1997, GTPS Insurance has provided coverage for your car, your home, your business, and your life. As an independent broker, GTPS Insurance Agency will shop around until they find the right coverage at the best price. Contact a GTPS Insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Your local independent Beacon Insurance agent is part of your hometown. They're your friends and neighbors. They know you and your community. So when it comes to the right insurance coverage at the right price, you'll want to talk with the folks you can trust. Ask your local Beacon Insurance agent about the affordable insurance coverage for your car, your home, your business, and your family. They'll help you protect what matters most. And you can always count on beyond the expected service and coverage from Beacon Insurance. To find an agent near you, visit www.beaconinsurance.com.
With over 6,000 firearms in-store and online, backed by our Best Price Plus guarantee, there's no better place to buy a gun than Gander Mountain. Add our knowledgeable sales associates and everything you need to secure your guns, and it's clear why Gander Mountain is America's firearms supercenter. This week, get up to a $50 gift card when you sell or trade in any firearm at our trade-in and trade-up event. And 20-round Federal PowerShock rifle ammo starts at just $12.49. We live for this. We live outdoors. Gander Mountain.
Hi, my name is Fred Wakefield. I'm a former Fighting Illini football player, 8-year NFL veteran, and now a graduate of the University of Illinois MBA program. I decided to get MBA because before I was ever a professional athlete, I was a student and someone wanting to really go into the business world. The best part about the MBA experience with the University of Illinois was the people involved in the program. Professors who were absolutely outstanding, fellow students who I still lean on a regular basis. I would definitely recommend Illinois' MBA program. Talked to a few different people about it. One guy actually played in the NFL for a number of years and called and asked about it. And I know that it's a program that continues to grow. I just think it's made a world of difference for me, and it will continue to as I progress through life and business. My University of Illinois MBA has allowed me not just the confidence, but also the tools to be able to move forward and continue to grow in business.
Earn your professional MBA 2 nights a week. Find out more at professionalmba.illinois.edu. That's professionalmba.illinois.edu.
Legends Golf Course and Driving Range in Southwest Champaign offers something for golfers of all levels. The 9-hole executive course is great for anyone seeking a quick round of golf at an affordable price. Check out league nights, schedule a private outing, or your company's next team building event. Junior players can learn the game through camps while honing in on their skills in a fun environment. Relax after a round in the newly renovated clubhouse while catching up on golf tournaments or baseball on one of their 6 televisions. Legends Golf Course and Driving Range. Visit them at legendsofchampaign.com. When you're heading home, Tay and Jay are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Why is it not called the Wonder Rap anymore? Go!
Because I don't do it every time. I'm Jeremy Warner. This is your sports update, 4:30, brought to you by InformedAthlete.com. The American League champion Cleveland Indians will have a few days to figure out its World Series opponent. Cubs ensured the NLCS will come back to Chicago after they tied the series with a 10-2 win last night. The bats came alive. Edison Russell snapped a 1-for-25 streak with a 2-run bomb, and Anthony Rizzo broke out of his funk with a 3-for-5 night, including a solo shot. Tonight, it's a rematch of Game 1 as the Cubs send ace John Lester against Dodgers right-hander Kenta Maeda. Clayton Kershaw being saved for Game 6 in Chicago. First pitch tonight at 7 o'clock. Hear it on our sister station, Sunny 95.3. Illinois defense coordinator Hardy Nickerson is playing a lot of young players. What's he thought of their performances?
What we've seen from the younger guys is that they've gotten opportunities and they've taken a huge step forward. Stanley, I thought, played pretty well last week. Ran to the ball well, and he's got great range and he tackled pretty well. You know, the young guys when they've gotten their opportunities, have really stepped up and played well. Jamal Milan played well, forcing 2 fumbles last week, this past game. So, those guys have really taken advantage of the opportunities they've gotten.
Quarterback mystery continues. Sounds like Jeff George Jr. getting a lot of first-team reps, according to Lawrence Haight of the News-Gazette. Be interesting to see if they have some Wildcat options as well. Arms race continues in the Big Ten. Iowa received approval for a near $90 million complete renovation of their north end zone in Kinnick Stadium. The Bears and Packers play tonight. Don't know if you knew. I didn't.
Really?
Green Bay placed running back Eddie Lacy on the IR.
You didn't remind me.
With an ankle injury. Meanwhile, the Bears activated outside linebacker Pernell McPhee. Kickoff at 7:25.
Yes!
The Bears are totally going to win tonight, aren't
right.
they?
Oh, you know they will. Hey, with harvest in full swing, farming is on the top of the mind. Almost anyone can find themselves inheriting the farm. From family members and close friends to charitable organizations, Busey Ag Services and Farm Brokerage explains your options. First, decide whether to sell or keep the farm. Those who sell need liquidity quickly, i.e. to pay estate taxes, and sometimes have several heirs, which make dividing the inheritance much easier. Now, those who keep, well, you can use that inheritance as a long-term investment. Farmland is a consistent income earner over time. And Busey Ag Services and Farm Brokerage, they are well-versed in working with landowners who have the desire to keep the farm but lack the time and resources to do it on their own. If you're in this situation, give Busey a try. You can put your trust in the experienced team at Busey Ag Services and Farm Brokerage. Give them a call, 1-800-67-BUSEY, or you can visit Busey.com today. Is that Ahmad Rashad?
NBA right around the corner. Woo! 5 days. Cleveland Knicks tips off.
Oh, that doesn't sound exciting.
You got Derrick Rose, Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, that's right.
Somebody else is on that team, right? Nick's got somebody else this offseason.
Yeah, they probably do.
Utah, Portland. I'm really intrigued by that game. Two teams on the rise.
Porzingis or whatever.
Porzingis is on that team.
Look at that.
San Antonio, Golden State in the nightcap.
Nice.
For next week with the NBA season tipping off. 538.com, Nate Silver's site, has released their projections for this season. They have one team winning more than 58 games.
Golden State.
Yes, they have been winning 68 games.
What's the record
14.
now? 73?
They said it was 73.
Okay.
Odds for the Warriors to make the playoffs is greater than 99%. The odds for the Warriors to win the title, 55%.
That's it, huh? I mean, that's high.
Pretty good.
That's really good, but
a coin flip to win the title.
Well, that's a good point. Good point.
The Cavaliers at 11%.
Wow.
The next highest is the Raptors at 5%.
Interesting.
The Spurs at 4%, and the Utah Jazz at
kind of
number
just
4.
Quietly climbing the charts out
They
in
are.
Utah.
They're a phenomenal defensive team. Gordon Hayward's turning into a very, very good player. But they have the Warriors at 68 wins. The Cavs next at 57. And only 4 more teams winning more than 50 games. The Spurs, Raptors, Thunder, and Jazz.
Okay, I have a couple of questions.
Yep.
Boston, the Celtics now.
They have the Celtics at 47 and 35.
Okay, we got Brad Stevens now in about his third year?
Mm-hmm.
That's still trending up, right?
Well, and they just signed Al Horford.
Okay.
They just kind of lack that superstar. I mean, Isaiah Thomas last year was an all-star. They have a deep roster.
Okay.
And they're tough and they're well-coached, obviously. Are they a title contender? I think they're a star away from that.
That's fair enough.
But they're pretty bullish on the Bulls at 538.com. 45 and 37.
Wow.
80% chance of making the playoffs for the Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
I mean, they're definitely one of the most interesting teams.
I have told you, without my Sixers, I don't watch a lot of the NBA. I peek in on the Bulls on occasion.
Yeah.
That team had gotten boring to me. It'd gotten stale. It was just kind of the same thing. And I was just like, eh. Now I'm kind of interested in seeing this Bulls
it's
team.
probably not going to end up all that great.
No, but
at least they're interesting.
Absolutely.
I want to tune in and see how Rondo, Wade, Butler, and
right.
Robin Lopez,
and now
Doug
Michael
McDermott.
Carter Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got
About
it all. It is amazing. It'll be fun.
It's a solid roster.
It is.
I just don't know if it's all going to work. And how does Fred Hoiberg? He's so used to the spread out and shoot it thing. Not a lot of shooters on this team.
You think he's glad Rose is gone?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially after what happened.
Well, that's true.
I know that's all cleared up now, apparently.
You just wonder if Rose was one of those superstars, and I think sometimes you see this, that just kind of dominates the locker room.
Well, Joe's gone. Joe's with the Knicks. That's who I was thinking of.
That's
Joe
right.
Kim Noah and Derrick Rose are both with the Knicks. I mean, it's a definite culture change. It's Jimmy Butler's team, but you got 2 strong personalities, the 3 alphas they talk about, with Rondo, Wade, and Butler. I think it's basically a year kind of experiment.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes out. The NBA GM survey, NBA.com, asked all the 32 general managers in the NBA, 30 general managers in the NBA, these questions. Who will win the 2016-17 MVP?
I'll say LeBron.
LeBron got 47%.
Okay.
Who do you think's second?
Curry.
Curry was third, tied with Harden.
So there's somebody at second that I'm missing. Who am I missing in the NBA? I don't know.
Well, Golden State signed a big guy, right?
Oh, Kevin Durant.
It's
My
not
fault.
him.
Oh, it's not.
His departure opens up a door for somebody to get a lot of stats.
Okay, your boy at Oklahoma City, and all of a sudden it's
Russell Westbrook.
Thank you. Russell Westbrook would have been
23%.
I about called him Russell Martin, the old catcher for the Blue Jays.
If you were starting a franchise today and could sign any player in the NBA, who would it be? To start a franchise.
It's LeBron.
No, he's number 3. 17%.
Are you kidding me?
No. You gotta think young. I mean, LeBron's getting up there.
Oh, so, okay.
Starting a franchise.
Okay, I see.
But I mean, he's still third at 17%.
Okay. I'm thinking all things equal, in other words. If I'm starting a franchise today, I want a point guard, man.
Nah, it's not a point guard.
It's going to be Curry.
No, Curry is 4th.
Really?
Kevin Durant was second at 21%.
I don't know.
Second-year player. Big man.
Second-year player, big man. Can't think of it.
An exciting young team with a coach who says, do your job.
Not coming to me.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Oh, I would have been here all day.
Last year, Anthony Davis got 86% of the vote.
Wow. Is he even?
It's injuries.
Yeah.
Injuries are threatening his career right now.
I need to see Karl Anthony Towns play. Ooh. I saw him play in college. I was on the Okafor bandwagon. I just didn't see enough of Towns.
Right. Apparently, because, wow.
Whoa, he's unbelievable.
He's ridiculous.
Was he the second pick overall? Or
first.
No, he was
first.
Yeah, first. Okay.
Which player forces opposing coaches to make the most adjustments?
Oh, my.
Don't think too hard.
Okay. LeBron.
Yes. Yeah. Which player most likely to have a breakout season in 16-17? Lon, you won't get this.
Okay.
Devin Booker of Phoenix. Remember Devin Booker on Kentucky?
I do, yeah.
Great shooter. He had a phenomenal year last year. Karl Anthony Towns is second. Miles Turner in Indiana is third.
Okay.
D'Angelo Russell and Andrew Wiggins are number 4.
I kind of forgot Phoenix had a team. I really, honestly, when you said Phoenix, I'm like, oh, that's right.
Best point guard in the NBA.
Westbrook?
He's third.
Really? Best point guard in the league. Chris Paul still? No.
Second. You probably don't think of this guy as a point guard.
Probably not.
But he plays it.
Don't know.
Steph Curry.
Oh. Yeah, I do not. I would never. I don't think of him as a point guard.
So thinking of that, who's the best shooting guard in the NBA?
Clay.
He's second. 40%. No.
No?
No.
Come on, man.
This guy scores a lot of points. Has a beard.
Oh, James Harden?
Yeah.
He's the best,
All I got to say beard.
I know, beard.
3, Dwayne Wade. Got 3.3%.
The best shooters.
Best shooting guard.
Oh, best shooting guard. My fault.
Who's the best small forward in the NBA?
Oh, my goodness.
Don't think too hard.
Kiki Vandeweghe. LeBron.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's the best power forward in the NBA? LeBron actually got second in
really?
this.
It's not Kevin Love. Best power forward.
We mentioned
Towns?
Towns is, I think, a center.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
It's Anthony Davis. Best center in the NBA, DeAndre Jordan.
Okay.
The LA Clippers, followed by DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, Marcus Saul.
Wow. Those are some stud names.
Which team made the best overall moves this offseason?
Golden State.
Yes. 83% of the vote.
With a move.
Indiana and Utah both got 6.7%.
How is Indiana going to be? Are they going to be decent?
They'll be better. I mean, Paul George is a legit
they still
star.
have Paul George, right?
Miles Turner's pretty good.
And Minnesota, how did Andrew Wiggins do last year?
He's good.
Okay. So Minnesota might be a team that's they're still on the rise.
They're one of the most exciting teams.
Okay.
Most underrated player acquisition, George Hill of Utah, 24%. Jeff Teague of the Pacers, 14%.
Okay.
Andrew Bogut of Dallas, 10%.
Dwayne Wade didn't get that with the Bulls.
Here you go, Lon. Which team will be most improved in 2016-17?
If they say the Sixers, they're wrong because now you don't have Ben Simmons. I'll say the Sixers.
No.
No?
Didn't even get votes.
The Bulls.
No. We just talked about Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota.
57%. Utah, 23%. New York, 10%. What was the most surprising move of the offseason?
Honestly, to me, it's Wade going to Chicago.
Wade got 43%.
Wow.
Durant got 47%.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that was just seemed like a no-brainer, though.
Who will win the 2016-17 Rookie of the Year?
Rookie of the Year. I got to think real quick. Who went out last year? Who? Not Ben Simmons because he's hurt.
Simmons was tied for second.
Okay.
They must have took this before.
I will pick.
And it's not Embiid, though. He got 10%.
That's true because he could still be
he hasn't
a
played
Rookie of the
2
Year.
years. Yeah.
How funny is that? I don't know.
Timberwolves, Chris Dunn.
Okay.
Buddy Hield second.
I forgot about Buddy Hield. See, just like that, I'd forgotten about all these guys.
Which rookie would be the best player in 5 years?
Ben Simmons?
Yeah, he got first at 70%. Chris Dunn, 20% got second.
I think Chris Dunn is going to be really good.
Brandon Ingram, 6.7%. Joel Embiid, 3%.
Does Brandon Ingram still weigh like 110 pounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is the best international player in the NBA?
That kid out of Croatia, that Rakashak.
Did you swear?
I know. I hit close.
You got to hit the dump button there. Pau Gasol still at number 5.
Okay.
Kristaps Porzingis at 4. Dirk Nowitzki holding strong at number 3. Marc Gasol second. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Sure.
The Milwaukee Bucks. He's awesome.
Is
he's
he really?
So long.
He's just a big
dude. He's going to play point guard this year for Jason Kidd. It's going to be awesome.
Is he really? He's a point guard.
Best defensive player in the NBA.
Oladipo.
No. Though he's on the Thunder now, right?
Yeah. And it rolls. Let's see. Best defensive player in the NBA.
He's now the star of this team.
Westbrook?
No.
He's now the star of a team.
That had one of their franchise guys retire.
Kevin, the tall one's in there just laughing at me.
Kawhi Leonard.
Oh,
Got
okay.
67% of the
He is
vote.
good, isn't he?
Best interior defender in the NBA, DeAndre Jordan at 50%.
Tim Duncan's no longer in the NBA, is he?
No.
So it's official. He's done.
Best head coach in the NBA. Yeah, Lon, that happened like a long time ago.
I know, but I kept waiting for him to show back up. Popovich?
Yeah, 83%.
Okay.
You want to take a stab at who's second and third?
The second best coach in the NBA would be...
He looks like Jim Carrey.
Steve Kerr.
No, Jim Carrey does not.
No, I was going to go with Kerr before that.
Nope.
I don't know.
Rick Carlisle, Dallas.
Oh.
3, Brad Stevens.
Oh, come on. You're giving him too much love.
Who, Stevens?
Yeah, aren't we? No, I'm kidding. I knew that would set you off. I'm kidding. No, I think Stevens is going to be it. That's why I'm anxious to watch this ascension of the Celtics.
Which head coach runs the best offense?
Golden State, right?
Steve Kerr.
Okay.
Which head coach has the best defensive schemes?
Your boy that used to coach the Bulls.
Do your job. Tom Thibodeau.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which active player will make the best head coach someday?
Ooh, that's a good question. What active player?
He's got to be a Hall of Famer.
It's got to be a guard.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a guard. Who would be Chris Paul?
Yep. Chris Paul got 27% of the vote.
I can see him in a suit now coaching.
He's a good-looking guy, too.
Yeah, right.
Which player is the most athletic?
Oh, my. LeBron.
Nope. He's
What?
second.
Who's more athletic than LeBron?
Oh, come on, man. This guy's a freak.
Russell Westbrook?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
My bad.
Best pure shooter.
Steph.
Yeah, 60% of the vote. Clay got 27.
Where's Tay on that list?
Corver 10%. Reddick 4.
Reddick still getting
Which player's fastest with the ball?
Fastest with the ball. I'm going to go Allen Iverson. Back in the day was pretty quick.
It's Russ at 47%.
Okay.
John Wall 40%. Best at moving without the ball.
I want to play this game again, but only with 80s players.
Yes.
Like I can just use all Celtics and Lakers and Moses Malone. The best moving without the ball? I'd say J.J. Redick.
Redick got third.
Okay.
Corver second.
Ooh, Kyle Corver. Son of a preacher's man. Did you know that? Who would be first with moving without the ball?
It's Clay.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Best passer?
Steph.
Chris Paul.
Dang it. Is Steph a pretty good passer, honestly?
Sure.
He's a pretty good passer, isn't he?
Toughest, except for in the NBA Finals Game 7.
LeBron James.
He's second.
I was going to say LeBron James.
Toughest player in the NBA.
Toughest dude. The toughest dude in the NBA.
Tony Allen of Memphis.
Really?
Yeah, he starts fights with everybody.
Myers Leonard.
Best leader.
The best leader, LeBron.
Yeah, 57% of the vote.
Wow.
Best basketball IQ.
I'm going to say a guard.
He can play guard.
He can't. LeBron.
Yeah.
Most
versatile player in the NBA.
LeBron.
Yep.
What do you want me to line up
Which player
tonight?
do you want taking a shot with a game on the line?
Steph.
76%.
Wow.
LeBron got 10.
Really? It's that big of a difference?
Yeah. What rule most needs to change in the NBA?
How about the lottery ball
Yeah.
thing? Is it really?
Look at you.
Oh. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's the NBA GM survey.
That's cool. That's cool.
Get inside the mind of a lot of those guys.
I'm trying to go back and like pick one random question, like the 6th question you asked me. Just pick a random one, and I'm going to go back to the 80s real quick.
Okay.
Okay. So just pick one random question.
Let's see here. Who is the best interior defender in the 80s in the NBA?
That would probably be Bill Laimbeer.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Or Rick Mahorn.
Or
right?
Rick Mahorn. That would be a fun exercise to play, and all of our listeners would be like, yes.
Best defensive player?
Danny Ainge.
I was
really
Michael
good.
Cooper.
Well, Michael Jordan, too. Although that's more 90s. Yeah, Coop was really good defensively. Danny Ainge was a good defensive player.
Let's see.
You know who was
best international player?
Oh, well, we didn't have him.
Kiki? Was Kiki in? No, he wasn't.
I think he was American. I don't think we had international players back then. We didn't like those guys. Stay in your own country.
Make America great again. Which team will be most improved in the 90s?
The Bulls with Michael. That's funny to do that. Or that would be a fun little thing to go back and play. That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
Who's the best point guard, Lon?
Isaiah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a stud. I remember.
Over Magic?
Well, that's hard. Magic just transcended that
position.
He did.
LeBron.
He was, he's LeBron. I remember one time on like Saturday morning cartoons they used to show Isaiah Thomas dribbling a basketball, and it's freaky. Like he was doing it with both hands, and you can picture, like we've all tried to do it real close to the court. You're just like, and all of a sudden they show him trying to dribble with a cigarette in his hand. It's the funniest thing.
That is very 80s.
Yeah, and he can't dribble, and it just keeps and he's like something to do with like, this is what cigarettes do to you, or something. I mean, it's the funniest thing. I'm like, yes.
Nice, I like it.
You can't dribble and smoke at the same time, kids.
It's like they got the ones at the dance now.
Yep.
Right? The new commercials.
That's exactly right.
Hey, we'll talk some Michigan with Ira Weintraub, Coast, the Michigan Insider, WTKA in Ann Arbor at 5:25. Ask Jay next hour.
Nice.
You got any line of questions? You can send them to me at Jay Warner Scout on Twitter, or text us on the Cheap Hour text line at 217-359-2255.
It is the Tay and Jay Show.
Nobody plays more country music per hour than US 105.9, where they start every workday with 3 hours of continuous country. US 105.9 is a proud sister station to ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hi, I'm George Vargas, Republican candidate for state's attorney. I am an experienced trial lawyer, former Champaign cop, and a veteran of both the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. I am committed to safeguarding our communities. I will do everything within my power to protect those who are most vulnerable amongst us, and will prosecute those individuals who commit gun violence in our community to the fullest extent of the law. Champaign County can and will be a safe community once again.
Paid for by the committee to elect George Vargas for state's attorney.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Hey guys, this is Scott Miller, local McDonald's owner-operator, and we have partnered with Lovie Smith and the U of I football team to bring you some great deals at McDonald's. All you need to do is download the McDonald's mobile app, and if Illinois scores 21 points or more, then you get a coupon for a buy one, get one free 10-piece nuggets sent straight to your phone. You don't even have to be at the game to win. All you need to do is have the McDonald's mobile app. Again, just download the McDonald's app on the App Store or Google Play, and if Illinois scores 21 points or more, then you will receive a push notification for a buy one, get one free 10-piece nugget. Let's support our Fighting Illini football team and eat some nuggets while we're doing it. Go Illini.
Check out the new Honda BMW of Champaign, formerly Twin City Honda BMW, and still located in Savoy. These guys are crazy for used vehicles. Truckloads of pre-owned vehicles, 25 to 50% off the price of a similar new model. And not just Hondas and BMWs, cars, pickup trucks, and SUVs of all makes. Financing options on used cars as low as 1.9%. Just drive by Honda BMW of Champaign and you'll see from the street that this is a new dealership. Honda BMW of Champaign, online at drivechampaign.com.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance, finding the perfect solution for you, guiding you through the options, helping you through a claim, and adapting to your evolving needs. Since 1997, GTPS Insurance has provided coverage for your car, your home, your business, and your life. As an independent broker, GTPS Insurance Agency will shop around until they find the right coverage at the best price. Contact a GTPS Insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
In today's world of voluntary benefits, let the Ware Group General Agencies be your guide to your employees' best options. Now you can expand their benefits without direct cost to you, but with greatly enhanced choices. Their unique agency design lets them obtain plans traditionally reserved for big companies, but with one call, the Ware Group will review your needs, get the best products and prices, and with reliable post-enrollment service. By using multiple carriers, they can put their experience and knowledge to work for you. Contact Ware Group General Agencies in Champaign at waregroupga.com.
For decades, two men have stood in the way of progress in Illinois. Chicago Speaker Mike Madigan and John Cullerton.
I'm the other Mike Madigan. I'm not a lawyer from Chicago. I'm a small businessman who owns 4 Hickory River Smokehouse restaurants. I grew up on our 6th-generation family farm in Champaign County, where my Uncle Dave was sheriff for 12 years.
Chicago leaders have blocked every reform we need to renew our state.
So if you're confused by my name, don't be anymore. I'll term limit myself and fight for fair legislative maps. And I'm refusing the outrageous legislative pension and lifetime health care that goes with it. My opponent has accepted both. But most importantly, my first vote in Springfield will be to get rid of the Senate leaders that brought us these problems. My opponent has already voted for them once, and he'll do it again.
You can send a message to Springfield. Send the other Mike Madigan. Send the right Mike Madigan. Send our Mike Madigan.
Paid for by the other Mike Madigan.
With all the financial headlines, are you wondering if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Mike Kessel. If you have more questions than answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's the new beginning. Stop by our office at 1701 Broadmoor Drive, Suite 110 in Champaign. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Got my Blues hat on and my Arizona Cardinals pullover. I've suddenly realized that my wardrobe is really bad. It's the Tay and Jay show, by the way. Lon Tay, Jeremy Werner. All I own is like company shirts or sports-related clothing. That's all I got.
Okay.
So
that's not such a terrible thing.
It's not horrible, but sometimes I'm like, I think I've worn this 100 times.
You're a simple man.
I am. I'm just...
You're not like Chris Bryant, an express man.
No.
Right?
No.
You're not going to do that.
He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's engaged.
Bryant. Whatever, Bryant. I don't like you.
Who is it? Would it be better to be Chris Bryant? I guess I can't say him. I was going to say Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane in Chicago.
Bryant.
Okay.
Definitely
Would
Bryant.
it be better to be Chris Bryant or Jonathan Taze?
Bryant.
Would it be better to be Addison Russell or Jonathan Taze? Like, is there a bigger deal of being a Cub or a Blackhawk?
I think,
I know for the moment,
you're a
but I'm
superstar with Taze. You're not yet with Russell, right?
Right.
So
I'm building that into that comparison.
Yeah, I'm going Taze. I'm going Taze on that. Addison, he's a slight little guy.
Okay. Would you rather be Panarin?
I don't know if I'm trying to picture him. I know who he is. I'm just trying to picture him.
But he's a big part of that team.
He is.
Or Justin Grimm.
Ooh.
Because I don't know if you're Justin Grimm, are you getting noticed?
No.
Like if you're at a bar, like if you're Justin Grimm,
yeah, you would.
Don't you have to put the jersey on? Like, don't you have to keep your jersey on?
Can you imagine? He just walks. He's going out one Friday night. He's like, "I'll meet you guys at the bar." Grimm walks in with his jersey on.
Like all these commercials
Dude,
with these athletes, like where they're wearing their jersey, so you know it's them. Justin Grimm's probably got to do that. Or somebody.
Love that.
All right. The worst thing is probably somebody would go up to him and be like, "Hey, where'd you get that Grimm jersey?"
Right.
Like,
I didn't even know they made those.
Why Justin Grimm? Right. No, that's me.
Why would you buy Justin Grimm? He's probably sitting there going, "Well, I told you, not David Ross. That's that guy's."
Would you rather be in Chicago,
Ross.
David Ross or Addison Russell?
Oh, in a heartbeat, Ross.
Ross or Javi Baez?
Ooh. First of all, one's going for 30-plus-year-old, and the other can go a little younger. I don't think Grandpa's going for the younger girls. I think I'd rather be Ross. Okay. He is like so beloved right now.
He is.
However,
he's like the teddy bear.
He is. That's exactly right. I think women would go after Ross because they'd want to marry him.
So you're taking it solely from like the women angle.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Just being
a dude,
being David Ross or Javi Baez.
I want to be David Ross because I think if David Ross now if Baez if we're all sitting in a bar in Chicago right now, and that's not far fetched, we could be doing that one day. We're all sitting there, and all of a sudden Baez came in. I'd be like, dude, there's Javi Baez.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Now hold on, though.
Let's bring Kevin Schroeder, our intern, in on this.
But if Ross walked in, I'd be like, I'm having a beer with that guy. I'm having a beer with David Ross. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Kevin, what do you think?
The tall one.
I would definitely be Baez.
Oh, come on.
Baez makes everything look cool. Like, you would make that beer look like the coolest beer you've ever had in your life. It's awesome.
That's a great call.
How about, would you rather be Jimmy Butler or Chris Sale?
Ooh, Butler.
Probably Butler. Chris Sale, it just looks like he's so tall and lanky, it looks like the world's not really meant for him. It's just kind of awkward.
Kevin's on fire today.
I like that.
He'd be just Sale would be just awkwardly sitting up by the dance floor, kind of over the side.
Even though Sale's like better at what he does than Jimmy Butler,
yeah,
there's like a White Sox discount, right?
Right.
And I'm a White Sox fan, and I know that. Like, there's only like 25% of the people in the city that care.
I
about
love
it.
this. This is a great. What else you got? I mean, this is awesome.
I like the Justin Grimm one.
I do too.
Justin Grimm or Panarin, Kevin? Where would you go?
I'm going Grimm.
Probably Panarin. That's a hard one, though. I think I would have to go Panarin.
Yeah, I think I'd go Grimm. I'd go Grimm on that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. You get a lot less brain damage if you go Grimm.
Right. Good, yeah. Okay, how about Bears? Let's throw Bears into this. Cutler?
Oh, God. Probably not Cutler.
Yeah, not Cutler.
How about Cutler or Robin Lopez?
Oh, wow.
Oh, definitely Robin Lopez. He gets to mess with the mascots all the time. That would be so fun.
I like how the starting quarterback of the... Oh, he's not starting anymore.
You're just going with the tall dudes, although you didn't go with Chris Sale. I think I'd go Lopez as well.
It's hard to pick. Alshon Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Or...
Who's a comp? How about Duncan Keith?
Or Jorge Soler?
Ooh. I'm going Alshon.
Yeah, I would go Alshon, too.
Alshon's probably cool.
Doesn't Jorge feel like he's going to be the guy who gets traded?
Yes, it does.
I feel like he's the guy who gets traded.
I agree with you. Man, he's big.
He is, but where do you put him?
Yeah, right. No, I agree. I think he's out. He's out. Duncan Keith. Do we have a comp for Duncan Keith? He's a pretty good looking dude.
Oh, he's big time. I mean, he could be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Let me think.
Would you rather be Duncan Keith or John Lackey?
Ooh, well, Lackey's the ugliest individual I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I was going to say his face scares me.
Minus Rich Hill. I don't know who's uglier, Rich Hill or John Lackey. John Lackey, yeah, I think he's got it. You don't think these guys listen to our show, do you?
No. So, are you going John Lackey or Duncan Keith? I don't think it's close. I go Duncan.
Oh, I'm going Duncan. Yeah, on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Duncan.
Although, if you're Lackey, man, you're sitting at that table and you're like, yeah, I've won a couple World Series.
Corey Crawford.
Although Keith's won 3.
Corey Crawford or Kyle Hendricks?
Ooh. Are we going to a concert?
I do like rock music, so I might go with Corey.
I think I'd go Crawford in that.
Two-time champion, right?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Is he 3? Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No,
he
2.
has 2 championships?
Yeah, but
2 cups, right?
Was he a backup on the first one?
I think he was a backup on the first one, yeah.
Okay. I'd go Crawford there.
I am too. I'm going Crawford. How about Joel Quenneville or Joe Madden?
Madden.
Yeah, Madden's going to win every. It's not, and Quenneville's.
And Quenneville's won 3, and I go Madden.
And Quenneville's a pretty cool dude.
Fred Hoiberg or Rick Renteria?
Oh.
I think Hoiberg, because if all those fails, he can go back to Iowa and be the mayor.
Yeah, he could. Yeah. But listen to this. Here's your go-to line, though. If you're Rick Renteria trying to pick up a girl, you're like, I have managed both the Cubs and the White Sox. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Don't you agree?
We got a couple of texts. Alex and Urbana. Brian doesn't drink. Lon would never want to be him.
Oh, Chris? Yeah, you're right. Good call. I don't know. I could handle that.
Cliff said, everyone who chooses to be a Cub because they're good right now, only the true Blackhawk fans have been fans longer than 10 years actually care about that team.
Oh, Cliff just stirring the pot.
For Lon, from Michael, would he rather be Randy Gritchick or Matt Holliday in St. Louis?
Oh, man. I don't like the greasy hair.
Okay.
Give me Matt Holliday.
Yachty or Wainwright?
Oh. Oh, my goodness. That's hard.
We'll answer it after the break.
Oh, that's crazy. Drive time next. Ira Weintraub, co-host of the Michigan Insider. We'll talk Wolverines and Illini with Ira next hour. It is the T&J Show.
You know who's going to win the game, right? Now is the time to join the thousands of online players at MyBookie, because this is the last week MyBookie will match your deposit with a 100% bonus. Just use promo code RADIO to activate the 100% bonus offer, but you have to act this week to get your 100% bonus at MyBookie. You're wasting your time betting anywhere else. They have in-game live betting, so you can even place a bet after kickoff. And unlike some other websites you might find, MyBookie offers fast, no-hassle payouts when you win, real Vegas odds and incredible player props. And this is the last week MyBookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar, up to $1,000 when you use the promo code RADIO. So join now. Pull out your smartphone and sign up with their user-friendly mobile site. You play, you win, you get paid. Visit mybookie.lv or call 1-844-900-BETS and take advantage of the final week to get your 100% deposit bonus. Expert or rookie, you gotta check out MyBookie. Sign up today.
Catch a great deal at Matex Heating and Cooling during Train's Big Game promotion. Buy a qualifying system and scratch off a trade-in allowance up to $2,000 or choose special financing for 5 years now through December 15th. Matex Heating and Cooling is serving your community with over 20 years of quality workmanship. Visit MATTEXservice.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Subject to credit approval. Matex Heating and Cooling. It's hard to stop a train.
Hello, this is Matt Carr from First Bank & Trust. At First Bank, we believe relationships are the one constant in the ever-changing banking landscape. You bank with who you trust, and you trust who you know. With over a century of serving communities in East Central Illinois, we've had the good fortune of knowing customers and their families for generations. We want to take the stress and hassle out of banking wherever and whenever you need it. Visit the new FirstBankTrust.com today and discover what banking local can mean for you. First Bank & Trust, member FDIC.
You can fly Champaign. You can fly Willard Airport. You can fly Champaign. You can fly. Our airport is your doorway to the sky. So pack your things, spread your wings. You've got business to do. People who expect you. You can fly Champaign. You can fly Willard Airport.
Live from the Habib BPC studios, this is WSJK Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Fox News Radio, I'm Kathleen Maloney. President Obama on the campaign trail for Hillary Clinton, also taking aim at Republicans who support Donald Trump after his favorable comments about Russia's president.
You used to criticize me for even talking to the Russians. Now suddenly you're okay with your nominee having a bromance with Putin.
The president also blasting Trump for claiming the election is rigged.
You know, he doesn't even worry if what he says is true. This is just about him worried that he's losing.
President Obama campaigning in Miami Gardens, Florida. Donald Trump is clarifying his controversial debate comment about election results. He says he will accept a clear election result, but he is not sure there will be one, and he wants to keep his options open. After that fiery final debate, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will be on the same stage again tonight, but this encounter is supposed to be fun. Fox's Gernal Scott has a live report.
Kathleen, the Al Smith dinner has been around since 1945, a year after the death of Al Smith, a former New York governor and the first Catholic presidential candidate. Since 1960, when Richard Nixon and John Kennedy appeared, it's been a regular stop for presidential candidates. Tonight, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will have their turn to do as candidates have done at the dinner, poke fun at themselves and each other. Over the years, only two candidates, Harry Truman and, ironically, Bill Clinton, have not taken the stage as part of the dinner hosted by New York's Archbishop and raising millions for Catholic charities. Kathleen.
Thanks, Gernal. An American service member has been killed in Iraq. The military says he died from wounds suffered in a roadside bombing. There are 300 U.S. Special Operations Forces embedded with Iraqi and Kurdish forces in the operation to retake Mosul. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
In my line of work, I'm trying to make a difference. Not $1 billion, but I want to save for the future, too. So this year, I partnered with TIAA to help me map out a plan. If I stick to it, I could have an income stream for life and maintain my lifestyle in retirement. Looks like a life of rewarding work could pay off for a lifetime.
Your personal success takes a financial partner who values it as much as you do. Learn more at TIAA.org.
America is taking the lead in energy.
Leading the world in oil and natural gas production. I vote to keep it going. With the right policies, we can produce, refine, and supply
more oil and natural gas.
And more abundant energy means more affordable energy for American families.
A more secure America.
Jobs, opportunity, and economic growth
for our children
and grandchildren.
That's why this election, I'm voting
for American energy.
Learn more at voteforenergy.org.
Join us and become an energy voter.
Brought to you by American Petroleum Institute.
contentious nature of this year's presidential election is raising concerns in Virginia about safety and possible voter intimidation. There's a debate about whether to allow people to legally carry guns at polling places.
We don't tell election places whether or not they can make it a gun-free zone or not. It's entirely up to them. And as long as they follow the law in Virginia, we're acceptable with that.
Rob Williams, Board of Elections chair in Prince William County, says he's confident there will be no fraud or violence on Election Day. Security experts are trying to head off hacking threats against the U.S. elections and breaches of U.S. cyber defenses.
Criminals, activists, collectives like Anonymous are all thrown in together with aggressors like North Korea and Iran. And with the Russians and the Chinese, who are more sophisticated and could do real damage if they were so inclined.
Director of National Intelligence James Clapper at a cybersecurity forum in Washington. What weather to expect this winter?
The winter seasonal outlook now published by NOAA says a La Nina is forming, and that will likely cause a warmer and drier winter for the southern tier of the United States. And that includes drought-laden Southern California.
It's been 4 to 5 years in a row now that they've had below normal precipitation and above normal temperatures, especially Southern California. It was probably going to take a couple of wet winters in a row to really put a big dent into this drought here right now.
NOAA's Mike Halpert. Things are predicted to be wetter and cooler further north, but the outlook does not predict numbers of winter storms. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Southern California is sweltering through the second day of a heat wave, raising the risk of wildfires. Temperatures are near 100 degrees in the hottest coastal and valley areas. People are being warned about the risk of heat-related illnesses and urged to stay indoors. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Need a furnace expert? Call Chief Bauer Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. A slight chance of rain tonight. Partly cloudy, a low of 40. Friday, sunny, clear, high 57, low of 36. Saturday, warmer, sunny, high 65, a low of 46. Right now, overcast, 55 degrees in Champaign-Urbana. It is Drive Time, presented by Honda BMW Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy, or visit them online at drivechampaign.com. Well, I'll tell you, this is where we recap the first 2 hours of the Tay and Jay Show.
And how about the Cubbies and the Bats? It all started with a simple bunt, and it turned into 10 runs. Anthony Rizzo, Addison Russell, they get out of their slumps in a big way, going yard. Rizzo with a big 2-run single. It all came down to this. You knew at some point, you hoped, if you're the Cub fan, you hoped after watching the Mets-Cubs series last year that the bats would have finally show up, and they did last night in a big way.
Yeah, Julio Urias looked good through 3 innings, but you got to the kid.
You did.
You knew the kid would have some weaknesses and hadn't gone very long in a start for a while, and the Cubs took advantage. They also took advantage of a break on that instant replay of Adrian Gonzalez. I think it was a break that he was called out because if he was called safe, I don't think that would have been overturned. And we don't know how big of that inning could have been.
Correct.
And just what the Dodgers scoring first could have done to the Cubs mentality, but obviously a huge win after that. They took advantage of a lot of Dodgers errors in the field, but a big win, and now the pressure back on the LA Dodgers because the pitching matchup really looks good for the Cubs tonight. You got John Lester against Kenta Maeda. Maeda had a great year this year, but the Cubs are much better against righties.
Right.
And he was really shaky in Game 1. Had a solid outing, but a lot shakier than John Lester, who's looked ridiculous so far.
Sahada Sharma from theathletic.com told us that Clayton Kershaw threw an extended bullpen session yesterday, ruling for sure him out, I would assume, for tonight. Now, that could be a really shock, but you and I went over this. Do you start Kershaw tonight or do you not? And I wrestled with this thing all day, and I finally came down to this. If I'm Dave Roberts, I'm starting him tonight because my theory is this. I want to keep the pressure on the Cubs. I want to go up 3-2 in this series going back to Wrigley because I think even if you're down 3-2 going back to Wrigley, you're not going to win this thing. even if you have Kershaw at 6.
Assuming Clayton Kershaw, in confidence, has told Dave Roberts he's good.
Yeah.
Right?
Great call.
Maybe he told Dave Roberts, I don't feel strong because
I got it.
He threw a lot of fastballs instead of curveballs in that last game, and he's been taxed. So if this were 3-1 Dodgers, I'd almost want to pitch him more just to close it out.
Yeah, just get it done.
Just to have the best chance to close this thing out.
Don't go back to Wrigley.
And get it done, and then to have him in Game 7 in case you need him. I don't think there's a wrong decision here, though.
I don't think so either.
At some point, you need Kenta Maeda to pitch and to help you win a game. And at some point, you need Maeda or Rich Hill to win you a game. So you got Clayton Kershaw, Game 6. Your ace going against Kyle Hendricks. I feel even better about that than him going against Lester.
Good point.
I feel like you have more an advantage there. So, yes, I think there's no bad decision here. But it's the tough decision of a manager.
It really is.
It really is. Dave Roberts has made a lot of right decisions so far, but obviously the injuries have hurt them. They wish they probably would have had somebody other than Julio Urias out there.
Correct.
Scott Kazmir was a starter for a long time. But the Cubs lineup tonight, not much changes. Fowler, Bryant, Rizzo, Zobrist, Baez, but then Hayward in right field batting 6th. Addison Russell, 1 spot up in the 7-hole, and David Ross doing the catching, batting 8th. In front of John Lester.
It'll be interesting to see how. I don't think it matters with Lester. In other words, you can see Lester 4 or 5 days ago, and I don't think you're still going to hit him that well. It'll be interesting to see how the Cubs adjust to Maeda because he was battling. You said it best. He was really fighting through that game. He actually threw a decent game in that first game. That's the one Montero, of course, won with the grand slam. Maeda kept you in the game. Yep. It was a quality start. I don't know if it's quality. I don't know if he went that long.
He pitched 4 innings.
So not a quality. My fault.
Ended up giving 3 earned runs. He got a few bad breaks in that one.
He did.
It felt like the BABIP gods weren't with him in that game. But
I agree.
He just wasn't very sharp. 3 walks. Got into a lot of trouble.
It'll be interesting now to see what the Cubbies put together in terms of a game plan to go against him now. Looking at him the second time, I think that really is a big bonus for Chicago.
For all the fans that were jumping off the ledge.
Yeah,
I mean, you went against Clayton Kershaw and Rich Hill, 2 bad matchups for this lineup.
Agree,
but you're still a great team.
Yep.
You've been a great team for all this season. You're the best team in baseball with your roster and how you've performed. Now you got 2 of the next 3 at home.
Yep,
if you need them.
You
so
do.
I think you feel pretty good about.
And you're
going to
be facing the 2 lefties in 6 and 7.
Yep.
So it'd be big for Chicago, I think, to win tonight.
We also talked, because of that Adrian Gonzalez play, about replay in baseball and what we think of it. And obviously the next step, and there's a lot of talk about the automated strike zone. And what I suggest is anyone that is automatically against the automated strike zone, watch HBO Real Sports story. Eric Burns calls a game.
Okay.
Like Eric Burns, the former player that's on MLB Network, he calls a game as an umpire with an automated strike zone that's made by Pitch Tracks. They have it customized for every player, just like they do on the screen that you watch it in TV. And he's basically got a bug in his ear and somebody telling him strike or ball right when that pitch is thrown.
Wow,
right when that pitch crosses the strike zone. And they got, I think they said about 98% of the calls right. They said normally it's not even close to that kind of accuracy. So I think I know replay for a lot of people who've watched baseball for a long time. They're like, no, we don't need that.
Right.
The human element. I feel like you're the same people who complain when the umpires make the wrong call.
When they get it wrong.
And you're like, these umpires need to be better. Well, let's give them the tools that we have as viewers watching the game to actually get the calls
Cardinals
right.
would have loved that, have that back in the day with Don Dinkinger and that call at first base.
Sure.
That would have been another World Series title.
And that's my thing, is like, would you rather have it right or just have this human element that could go against your team or for your team? What would you rather have? It's to get the call right.
One of the things that I love about our show is that you and I are different eras. I'm a little bit older. Not a little bit. I'm a lot older. But so we have 2 different eras. I'm normally the old school guy. I'm the old school guy that argues for that. But I told you, surprisingly, I would be fine with that, with an umpire behind the plate.
As long as the technology works.
Absolutely.
Right? And it seems like it does.
Because I get tired, and I've told you this, I get tired of those games where a pitcher is dominating the other team because he's getting a certain pitch that is not a strike. And the other team can do nothing about it, and all it does is it makes them mad. You see them just lose their focus, and the next thing you know, the game's over because of that one strike.
Now, the one thing they need to improve is the efficiency of it. It can't take 6 minutes to get a call right. And those are improvements, obviously, they need to improve upon. So, yeah, there are things with replay that I think can get better, but and I don't want replay on every single call.
I got you.
But if it gets the thing right, that's the whole point of it.
Why not?
Oh, the Bears play the Packers tonight.
And I've got Eddie Lacy, who's out for the year, and I've got to make a change, and I'm going to have Jeremy help me with that in a minute.
You picking up Niall Davis? Is he available?
I'm going to look, because that's who they're getting, right?
Yeah, I would imagine he's off waivers, though.
He probably is gone.
Pernell McPhee out there for the Bears. He's activated off the list. The Bears are totally going to win this game.
They are. They totally
are. Their draft pick. Aaron Rodgers is struggling a little bit. That doesn't seem to be gelling with his coordinator
and
right now.
He's got Nelson back. He's got Jordy Nelson back. And last week, Nelson didn't do anything. Thank goodness I was going against him.
Aaron Rodgers is human.
He really is. But that wide receiving core, Randall Cobb's good. Yeah. He's overhyped, I think. And then the other kid that has really... Devontae Adams has never been impressive to me.
I wonder what ratings in Chicago are going to be for the Bears game.
Not well.
Yeah.
I don't think. Even though there are...
I wonder what the crowd would have looked like if it was at Soldier Field.
At Soldier. Well, that'd be interesting. Even like if there was a Hawks game, it would be interesting to see that.
We also talked about Tiger Woods. He talked with Charlie Rose on PBS, and he said he's still shooting for Jack Nicklaus's record.
Okay, well, good for him.
He said, am I going to get it? Probably not.
Right.
But I'm still going for it.
Yeah, and why not? I think anybody that obviously has watched Tiger, we know how competitive he is. And as I told you, that 18 major thing that Jack has, that was on his bedroom window or wall growing up. He knows all about the 18 majors, and he wants to be the best. But any argument I ever have with anyone, I end with this. Who has the most majors right now? Jack Nicklaus. He's the best golfer.
Will he win one more, Tiger?
Tiger, no. I don't think he will.
I don't think so.
I just say he's too broken down, and I think golf has caught up.
Yeah.
I think there's enough. I mean, listen, in Tiger's heyday, it's not like he was going against some of the best golfers in the world either. I mean, you had Phil Mickelson.
I also think that he made everyone else that could have been the best in the world, that maybe could have been a Rory or somebody.
Good point.
He just made them look much worse.
It's fair, and that's a good argument. You can go back to Jack, but he had Arnold,
yes,
he had Chi-Chi.
I do think this group is better. I mean, with Spieth and Day and Rory and Dustin Johnson, I mean, that's a loaded field that I just don't think... Yeah, can he compete with them every once in a while? Yeah,
he can.
Can he do it consistently? And will his body hold up? I mean, that's the biggest question.
And listen, I don't root against him. I think, if Tiger could go out at Augusta and have a first or second round lead, that thing would be crazy.
But he has no regrets outside of his entire career.
Okay.
No regrets, including all his personal stuff.
Even a 6-iron through a window.
Except for not staying at Stanford one more year. He just wanted one more year of college, man.
Listen, why did I graduate in Ford Southern?
Also talked a lot of NBA. The GM survey came out. The 538 projections are out. 538 projects the Bulls have an 80% chance of making the playoffs.
Okay.
They're definitely one of the more intriguing teams.
They are.
I think the Thunder are probably up there, but nobody's more intriguing than the Golden State Warriors.
I agree. Totally agree. Let's see how that works out. Let's see how they get Durant involved. So far, I think so good in preseason.
Have the Golden State Warriors turned into the...
Like LeBron in Miami?
Yeah, have they turned into the bad guy?
I think you needed somebody to be that bad guy, and LeBron was it. You needed that.
But is he that anymore at Cleveland?
No,
Yeah.
He's not. But I think you needed that initial... You needed somebody to push the envelope, and he did.
I just find it interesting because, I mean, Golden State's going to be so fun to watch. I assume...
People love Steph Curry, though, and they love Kevin Durant, so they're not going to get mad at him.
But I feel like in the finals, you finally started to get a little criticism of Steph.
You did.
Like, once you're the top dog and you don't stay the top dog... People start to criticize and pick you apart a little bit and try to bring you down.
It's true.
I think that's how it's going to be with the Warriors this year because it's like if they don't win the title, they're a failure, right? Or they conceived this thing just like Miami.
Yep.
So,
well, especially how dominant they were last year and didn't get it done in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have a more dominant year and then not win the NBA title, so it'll be hard for them to redo that. Do it again.
Drive Time presented by Honda BMW Champaign. For new and used vehicles, stop by Honda BMW Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy or visit them online at drivechampaign.com.
My guy, Ira Weintraub, co-host of the Michigan Insider. We're going to talk Wolverines and Illini. Yeah, they have to play. It's on the schedule. You have to play it.
That's
on this Saturday. We are going to play it. We're going to talk to Ira next. Also, ask Jay. Get your questions in at Jay Warner Scout. Any Illini question you want to ask, he'll answer it. It's the Tay and Jay Show.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka. So much talk about how Cleveland is suddenly the new title town. They went 52 years without any major pro sports title, then the Cavs broke that streak in June. And now it's the Indians trying to tack on a title of their own. Would be their first since 1948. Of course, even if the Tribe wins the World Series, one that they're in for the first time in 19 years, Cleveland doesn't become title town any more than, say, Tampa Bay, who's gotten titles from the Lightning and Bucks. But sure, after a 52-year run without a title, the Cleveland story is a good one. But focusing solely on that takes away from what this baseball team has accomplished on its own. Winning a division title despite significant second-half pitching injuries, taking out two frontline starters, Danny Salazar and Carlos Carrasco. Now they're down those two from the rotation, plus Trevor Bauer, at least for a while, after his never-before-heard-of drone-related injury. All this team has done without three starting pitchers in the postseason goes 7-1, knocking out beasts of the AL East, Boston and Toronto. Forget the whole Cleveland story. Let's just focus right now on the Indians story. In 60 seconds, everybody but the quarterback was right.
Hi, this is Lori Grenier. You've seen me on Shark Tank. Throughout my career, I've developed hundreds of innovative products that make people's lives easier. That's what Cabbage does for small business owners. They've developed a simple and flexible way for business owners to access a line of credit of up to $100,000. Apply online or from your phone. You will get a decision in minutes and can start using your funds immediately. Cabbage has provided over $2 billion to 80,000 small businesses like yours. To get started, visit Cabbage.com or call 888-CABBAGE. Make Cabbage your first resort for business funding.
The thought of cold weather is, well, chilling. But not as chilling as the feeling you get when your battery fails on the road on cold, dark nights. That's why AutoZone is your home for tough Duralast batteries. They're tested to perform in temperatures 40 below zero and engineered to deliver more power during startup. So no matter how cold it might get, the thought of having a proven tough Duralast battery can keep you warm. With our help, you can always fix your car with confidence. Hoods up, America.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Remember back in the summer when Ryan Fitzpatrick thought the world was against him? He was a free agent getting no real offers, saying he wanted to go back to the Jets, but he and New York were millions of dollars off on what they thought he was worth. So he signs a one-year deal at a dollar amount the two sides compromised on. Turns out the Jets were right not to overpay Fitz, at least not too much, and the rest of the league was right not to either. He's been benched, throwing an NFL-high 11 interceptions. Fitzpatrick will watch much criticized Geno Smith start against the Ravens on Sunday. Remember when Geno got punched? As it turns out, Ryan Fitzpatrick might have just gotten punched harder. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari Noka.
Hello, this is Shane Colt from Country Arbors Nursery. I'll go ahead and answer the question everybody asks. Yes, right now is a perfect time for planting. Planting right now requires less water, less care, and your plants will be in the ground and ready for spring. Even better than that, they're on sale. All plants at Country Arbors are at least 20% off. Just because other people are putting up their Christmas stuff doesn't mean you shouldn't take advantage of these great prices and great weather. Country Arbors will be digging all our shade trees starting next week, so you'll want to come in and order today before they're sold out. So come out to Country Arbors Nursery. We're in Urbana, a mile and a half east of Route 130. You can also go to countryarbors.com for more information and directions.
At the Y, it's about more than sports and working out. It's about making our community better, living a healthier life, spending time together as a family. It's where you can go to learn and play after school or work. The Y strengthens communities by helping kids reach their full potential, encouraging healthy living, and inspiring social responsibility. Join the Stevens Family Y. Visit sf-ymca.net for more details.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals, a nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
There's a time for work, there's a time for play. There's a time to do things you don't do every day. There's a place to go for tools and machines, and people with knowledge about these things. We've been here since 53 to meet your rental needs. When the time comes, we're the place for everything. Rental City.
Join the Fighting Illini women's basketball team, ShambanaMoms.com, U of I Credit Union, and this station for our annual Trick-or-Treating with the Stars event. It happens Sunday, October 23rd from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Ubben Practice Facility on 4th and St. Mary's in Champaign. I'm sophomore point guard Jalen Kirkpatrick with the U of I women's basketball team. This family-friendly event allows your kids a safe environment to trick-or-treat, visit with cartoon characters, and the U of I women's basketball team. Don't miss it. Trick-or-Treating with the Stars, Sunday, October 23rd from 3 to 5 in Champaign.
When you're heading home, Tay and Jay are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
I'm Jeremy Warner. This is your 5:30 sports update brought to you by InformedAthlete.com. The American League champion Cleveland Indians have a few days to watch their next World Series opponent and figure out who it is. Okay. Cubs ensured the NLCS will come back to Chicago this weekend after they tied the series with a 10-2 win last night. The bats busted out. Addison Russell, a 2-run homer, ended a 1-for-25 streak. Anthony Rizzo broke out of his funk. 3 for 5, including a solo shot. Tonight, it's a rematch of Game 1. The Cubs send ace John Lester against the Dodgers right-hander Kenta Maeda. Clayton Kershaw will pitch Game 6 in Chicago. First pitch tonight, 7 o'clock. Hear it on our sister station, Sunny 95.3. Illini defensive coordinator Hardy Nickerson playing a lot of young players recently. He said it's not an overt plan, though, for a youth movement.
Well, I mean, we've been wanting to see everybody. And, everybody's had opportunities, and the young guys have just really taken advantage of those opportunities that they've had and made some big plays for us.
The arms race continues in the Big Ten. Iowa has received approval for a near $90 million complete renovation of their north end zone in Kinnick Stadium.
I love that stadium.
Hey, the Bears play tonight. Packers, too. Green Bay plays running back Eddie Lacy in the injured reserve with an ankle injury. Bears activated outside linebacker Pernell McPhee. Kickoff for Thursday Night Football at 7:25.
Crickets.
Former Bulls #1 pick and current Sixer Elton Brand announced he will retire after the season. 538.com projects the Bulls have an 80% chance to make the playoffs and that Kevin Durant and the Warriors have a 55% chance to win the title.
Okay.
On the ice tonight, the 3-0-1 Blues. Yeah, they're undefeated. They play at Edmonton tonight. Edmonton 3-1. The Blues undefeated even though they lost in overtime.
Don't you try to figure out hockey, young man. Hey, it's coming up. Trick-or-treating with the Stars. Join this station along with the U of I Credit Union, ShambanaMoms.com. Is there a ShambanaDads.com?
I'll look it up.
Okay. And the U of I women's basketball team for a fun indoor trick-or-treating event. It's happening this year. That's horrible.
You can start it.
I might. It's happening.
It'll look like a GeoCities site.
I just had PhiloDads.com. That would be a little creepy. This trick-or-treating, by the way, is happening on Sunday, October 23rd from 3 to 5. You can find out more details online right now at ESPNCU.com.
Michigan has a great football team again.
They do?
Jim Harbaugh has made Michigan great again.
I see where you're going there.
He's done really well.
It's just he's so weird.
He is, but it's awesome.
I know.
And it's great to see a foil for Urban Meyer.
And listen, this is a big game because Jim Harbaugh said this is a championship-level game.
Even though Jeff George Jr. might start at quarterback, we might see Trenard Davis and maybe Keyshawn Vaughn at Wildcat.
Oh, boy.
Illinois going in with not much ammo in this one. But let's talk about Michigan football and their rise with Ira Weintraub, co-host the Michigan Insider on WTKA in Ann Arbor. How you doing, Ira?
I'm doing great, guys. I can't believe we're actually talking football. It's been like 4 years since we've done that.
Isn't that the truth?
Did you miss us?
We stuck in a little basketball, but I kind of miss playing. We played Wisconsin for the first time in like 5 or 6 years when we played them earlier this year. It's kind of crazy.
What is it like, Ira? Like for Illinois, when they play Michigan, like for me as a fan that grew up watching Illinois, I get so excited when it's Michigan. What is it like when you're that team that everybody gets excited for and you're just like, oh, Illinois is coming to town?
Most of the talk already is about Michigan State.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but Illinois might have more wins than Michigan State at the end of the year.
And that may be true, but it's still, the rivalry thing. There's a lot of smack talk going on about Michigan State because of their season, how they're playing. When we have conversations right now about football, we don't even talk about the last game because it's Rutgers.
Right.
And then we barely talk about the Illinois game. We're just kind of looking at how the season progresses and how the players. It's much more about Michigan right now. These last 3 weeks with the Rutgers game, the bye week, and this week feel a lot more like fall camp conversations than they do game week conversations.
How is this spread just 36 points?
Right.
Vegas is still a little bit conservative with some of these.
I mean, this team, obviously Jim Harbaugh, I think the way I would say is he brought swagger back to that program. But you're there. I mean, you live it. What has Jim Harbaugh brought to that campus and that program?
Swagger, a mentality of toughness, a work ethic, a family-like atmosphere. And I don't want to make it sound like they didn't have a family-like atmosphere before, because they did. But the way they have 4-hour practices in the spring. They want to come to work. I was talking to a former player who's got a son on the team, and what they talk about is they work really hard for 4 hours for practice, but at the end of the day, they're like, man, that was fun. So he keeps things unique, but the competition every day, there's just so much that goes into it, and he has just changed it within the football program and obviously within the fan base. What we're talking about now is night and day different than just a couple of years ago, and everyone's definitely enjoying it right now.
Ira Weintraub, our guest, he's my guy, co-host the Michigan Insider, WTKA in Ann Arbor. There's no doubt in my mind when Harbaugh signed on to become Michigan's coach that I knew he would get it done. Has it surprised you how much he just gets it? Like, he just buys into the whole college atmosphere and everything.
If you guys remember, and we were obviously really into it when the search was going on, that, he's not going to leave the NFL. He doesn't like recruiting. He's not going to leave the NFL. He doesn't want to do this. He's not this. The fact is, his wife doesn't want to leave the West Coast because she's a California girl. The fact is, she's from Kansas City. He grew up in this town. He wants his kids to be raised in a college town that he grew up in. His youngest are going to the same schools that he went to. They're going to have the same life plan, essentially, that he had growing up. And his wife is bought in, and there's something about this town that has been with him since he was a kid, and he absolutely loves it. He talks about it. His dad talks about it. His brother talks about it. There's the Bo Schembechler aspect. And him coming back here, he wasn't just going back to college when he came back here, a year and a half ago. He was going to Michigan, or he was going to take an NFL job. But he had the Jets call him, the Raiders call him. He wouldn't even take their call. He got on a plane. He came to Ann Arbor. He took the job. And it's just, he says this, and the thing that Jim Harbaugh is, if nothing else, he is brutally honest if he answers your question. And he says he loves Michigan, he loves coaching, and he loves football. And there's only one place you can do all three of those things. Mm-hmm. And when you win here, you're king. So that's where he's at right now.
Michigan leads the country in scoring defense, 10.3 points per game, and they're second in scoring offense at 50 points a game.
My goodness.
Which unit has been more impressive and why?
The defense is so much fun to watch. I can sit here all day and talk about how much fun it is to watch the front four wreak havoc, how much fun it is to watch Don Brown blitz from all over the place, and you never have any idea where it's coming from, and the development of the inside backers, McCray and Gideon. You could talk about how great the secondary is, and with Jordan Lewis coming back from the injury a few weeks ago and how he's playing, plus Stribling is playing as good as anybody, and the safeties have been solid, and then just say Jabril Peppers. There's so many exciting things about this team right now when it comes to the defense and the return unit and at times the offense. An amazing thing about the offense is how much it scores. They have so much. They could be so much better offensively. And think about that, because the numbers are staggering, but they are not actually that consistent in the passing game. It's getting a little better, but they're basically where they were about halfway through last year, which was not great. They had a great second half passing the ball. The run game, I think the run game numbers get a little inflated when you put up, 4-something against Rutgers, and so they're still working on those things. That's the amazing thing. As great as they've been on both sides of the ball, the defense is lights out, and they're going to be great all year. The coordinator's got it going. The guy is just a mad scientist. Offensively, there's so much. They're tapping the potential right now.
Jabril Peppers is just a ridiculous player. What's his case for Heisman, and how much does Jim Harbaugh use him tomorrow to make that case for Heisman, or Saturday?
I think that he just uses him for a little bit, like he has been, just to let him go out there and play. he has a legitimate shot at the Heisman, and it's going to come down to this. Does he make a big play against Michigan State? If it's even a close game. And if it's not, does he still make big plays? Kind of like the Rutgers game where it's not a close game, but he still made electrifying plays. When they go to Iowa City, and they have a national TV audience, and I know Iowa is obviously not what Iowa was expected to be, but can he go on the road and can he make a few plays? And then if they're undefeated going into the last game, and he does what Desmond did, and he does what Charles did, and whether it's a fumble recovery for a touchdown or a punt return for a touchdown or a offensive play for a touchdown or multiple touchdowns, if they're undefeated going to that game and he has on that stage make big plays, he'll first of all knock JT Barrett out of the conversation because Barrett would pick up that loss.
Sure.
And then he would be right there into that conversation, and he's going to get enough touches on offense and eventually making some more playmaking type plays on defense when it comes to fumbles and interceptions, and of course on the punt return game. He's going to touch the ball enough to make a legitimate case. It's going to come down to the biggest showcase games, and then they'll have one last shot if they get that far to a Big Ten title game. If they don't beat Ohio State and they don't get to Indianapolis, he's not going to win the Heisman. That's just kind of how it's going to go, even if he's electric the rest of the year, which he should be.
Ira Weintraub breaking it down, co-host of the Michigan Insider, WTKA in Ann Arbor. We're not going to let you sneak out without asking about Ohio State, but I have a Michigan State question. D'Antonio has been unbelievable up there. Do you see the rise of Michigan, meaning a little bit of the fall for Michigan State? In other words, can both of those programs play at a high level at the same time?
I think that Michigan State can compete for 3 and 4 in the division, but the answer that I believe is no. They've never been elite when there's been a dominant Michigan and Ohio State at the same time.
Okay.
And what ends up happening is when Michigan State is playing at this high level, they're winning in-state recruiting. And depending upon whose rankings you look at, but most of them, Michigan this year is going to take like 8 of the top 10 kids in the state. And it's the 8 kids they want. So they're coming back to now with a fury taking the kids in state, and makes it harder to recruit for D'Antonio. And I just don't expect to see him maintain that level of recruiting that he had for the guys he wanted and was able to keep in state. And I don't think you can undersell the loss of Narduzzi to Pittsburgh and how important he was in player evaluation, player development, and coaching that defense. And that they're just not the same team they used to be. If they find themselves a quarterback like they did first with Cousins and then with Cook, then they have a shot. But I expect Michigan State to take a step back, and I didn't expect it to be this quick, this quick, but I did expect them to take a step back.
Michigan, Ohio State, we're all waiting for it. We're hoping they're undefeated. I think both should probably be in the college football playoff, assuming they don't lose going into that game. So what do you probably watched a lot of Ohio State too. I mean, what do you think of that matchup when it eventually happens?
Going into this past week, I would have been very apprehensive. And well, I mean, it's a big football game. We're always apprehensive. But watching the Wisconsin game and the way Wisconsin played Ohio State gives me some confidence in what I think that Michigan can do in Columbus. Today, leading into this game against Illinois, would I pick Ohio State or Michigan to beat Ohio State? Not right now. But I want to see how these next 5 weeks develop with Michigan at quarterback, at left tackle, and if they can get their field goal units straightened away. Because they have an unbelievable front four. They have really good linebackers. They have a great secondary. They have the best player in college football that plays in every phase of the game. They have a run game that it might be by committee, but they do the things that Ohio State struggles with and that Wisconsin was able to take advantage of. I think it could be like in 2006. I think it could come down to become one of those great Michigan-Ohio State matchups. Ira
Weintraub, before we let you go, I know you're big in the basketball scene there as well, and we love John Beilein's teams. They're so much fun to watch. Like Illinois, they've had a lot of injury issues, though they've actually made the tournaments the last couple of years. Right. What do you make of this year's team with Michigan?
We like the team. There's some people that are down on them. I really like the team. They don't lose anyone that played last year except for a couple of rotation guys, or maybe even less than that, like a guy like Cam Chapman. They had a few guys that transferred out, but they lost Karis LeVert, but he didn't really play last year. They lost Mike Albrecht, but he didn't play last year. So they bring in Xavier Simpson, a new point guard that can back up Derek Walton and also help Derek slide over to the 2 and play some shooting guard. They bring in some more size. The X factor for Michigan is Mo Wagner, the big man that last year was the freshman from Germany. If he takes a step forward, we expect, and he plays like he did at the end of the season, the Big Ten tournament and in the NCAA tournament, that Michigan's going to surprise some people, and they're going to finish in the top 6 in the Big Ten. They're going to have a decent season in the NCAAs, and though I think they're maybe a year or two away, because I think the younger guys So unfortunately for Zach Irvin and Derek Walton, who would be seniors, but the guys that are right behind them, there's a lot of talent and potential there. I like Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman as a two-guard. I like the makeup of this team. I want to go out and, to see him play and see how it comes together. I think they're a work in progress, but they're going to be much better defensively this year, too, which is going to be a big key. I like this team, and I think they're going to be a team that makes some noise in the Big Ten.
My final question, Ira. Jeremy and I have a theory here. Derek Walton made the All-Big Ten preseason team, and we both looked at each other, and I said, or Jeremy maybe, one of us said.
Like him. As
yeah, I like him a lot, but it's like, did they just want to put a Michigan player on there because they're going to be good? Is he really that good?
If he stays healthy all year, he has the chance to be a good lead guard for them. Do I think he's an All-Big Ten guy? I think he's partly an All-Big Ten guy because they put 35 names on that list. So it's not just 5 names. If you had 5 names, he wouldn't have been on the list. Is he in the top 10 players in the Big Ten this year? Maybe.
Yeah.
If Michigan has a year that I think they can have, then by the end of the year, he could be on that list. Going into the year, we said the same thing. We're like, I'm a little surprised that Derek's there. I like it. I like Derek. He's a good kid. But it is a little surprising to see him now just because he hasn't had a full season to show it consistently. And it's obviously now or never for him and Zach Irvin, but they're healthier than those two guys have been in a long time. And they're expecting a lot as their seniors. And I'd say I like the makeup of this team, and I think he's going to get a lot of help from some of the bigs, too, to make him pretty solid.
Score prediction on Saturday.
Oh, my goodness.
Not as bad as the Rutgers game. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, that's good enough.
But maybe close.
Maybe could be close.
Ira Weintraub, WTK in Ann Arbor. You can follow him on Twitter at Michigan Insider. Ira, appreciate the time, man.
You got it. Anytime, guys.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Good stuff from Ira Weintraub. What are you going? What did I say? 56-3.
I have 56-3.
Okay.
And
did you really? Because I pulled that out. I pulled 49-3 out of nowhere.
Yeah, 56-3 is my score. I might take away that 3.
Yeah.
When
does Illinois score the 3? I'm going to ask you that question.
George is your quarterback with Trenard Davis and Keyshawn Vaughn as your Wildcat guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that just seems like that is not even MAC level offense.
This is going to be a disaster.
It could be.
It could be a disaster. It will be a disaster.
Come on. All right, Michigan beat Hawaii 63-3.
Oh, my.
UCF 51-14. A ranked Colorado team now 45-28. That was their best test. Penn State they beat 49-10.
Wow.
Wisconsin played a great game against them, and I think that tells you how good Wisconsin is.
I agree with you.
Is they've played great games against Ohio State and Michigan. That's 2 of the best losses in the country when you lose to those 2 teams by a combined 14 points. But Rutgers, I know you beat them 24-7. It wasn't that.
No, it was a lot closer.
That was a lot closer.
That interception return for a touchdown turned that game.
I think I'll be changing mine to
worse.
63 to.
Again, I want to know when the 3 comes. Does it come like
nothing?
Is it 14-3 at one point, and I'm sitting at home going, "Yeah, you know what? I mean, it's 14-3.
If it's 14-3 at the end of the first quarter, you feeling good?
Oh, I'm feeling great.
What if it's 7-3?
Oh,
win!
I'm probably on my 3rd beer by that point. If that's the case, I'm
celebrating.
Right. What time is this game this week?
It's 2:30.
2:30. All right, great. We're on national. Is this the national game?
I think it's on ESPN.
Okay, please don't make this.
That's national. I mean,
it is, but you know what I mean, like NB or whatever.
It's just a national title contender against. I know you beat Rutgers, but you're still one of the worst Power 5 teams in the country, especially with this quarterback situation.
All right, Ask Jay. We're going to do this, right? You can still get a question in. You can text the Chief Bauer text line at 359-2255. If you want to just text in Ask Jay and the question about Illinois. Or you can send a question to Jeremy. It's at Jay Werner Scout. We'll do that when we return. It's the Tay and Jay Show.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. We're offering a great new deal on qualifying Trane heating and cooling systems. For a limited time, you can play the Trane Big Game promotion by scratching off a trade-in allowance up to $2,000. Or you can choose another way to save. Get 0% interest for 5 years. That's no interest with equal payments and approved credit for 5 years on any qualifying Trane system. Both options are for a limited time. So pick your best deal. Up to $2,000 trade allowance or 0% interest for 5 years. Call 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or find us online at landsinc.com. And remember, it's hard to stop a train. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
Sealands, your independent train dealer for program details. Call 888-534-6894 about credit costs and terms. Regular APR is 28.99% for newly opened accounts. Subject to credit approval. Offer expires December 15, 2016.
None of us can predict the future, but that doesn't mean we can't prepare for it. How will your family survive when you're gone? And how do you know if you have enough life insurance? Beacon Insurance makes it easy with their convenient life insurance calculator. Visit www.beaconinsurance.com/life calculator. Then talk to your local independent Beacon Insurance agency about a life insurance policy that will give you peace of mind and keep your family financially stable in the future. Life insurance from Beacon Insurance always goes beyond the expected.
We're visiting with Jim Greenfield. Spritz Jewelers, 205 North Neal in downtown Champaign. How about a little diamond ring action there, Jim?
You know, all of the diamond rings that I make up throughout the year, everything culminates and comes together in October, and I've got a great selection of engagement rings, and we've made up some beautiful, beautiful pieces, all sizes of diamonds, all shapes, any color, white gold, yellow gold, platinum. Spritz Jewelers can design it for you. We have beautiful, beautiful engagement rings and all price ranges. So come to Spritz. Let us take you through and show you exactly what you're buying and explain to you why you want this and why you want that. We'll work within your price range and make sure that you're very, very happy. Spritz Jewelers is your full-service jeweler, and we've got diamond engagement rings just for you.
All right, and we can lay away for Christmas?
This is a perfect time to do that. Christmas is a great time to get engaged, and our selection is never better.
Spritz Jewelers, Jim Greenfield. Visit him today, 205 North Neal, downtown Champaign.
Hi, my name is Fred Wakefield. I'm a former Fighting Illini football player, 8-year NFL veteran, and now a graduate of the University of Illinois MBA program. I decided to get MBA because before I was ever a professional athlete, I was a student and someone wanting to really go into the business world. The best part about the MBA experience with the University of Illinois was the people involved in the program. Professors who were absolutely outstanding, fellow students who I still lean on a regular basis. I would definitely recommend Illinois' MBA program. Talked to a few different people about it. One guy actually played in the NFL for a number of years and called and asked about it. And I know that it's a program that continues to grow. I just think it's made a world of difference for me, and it will continue to as I progress through life and business. My University of Illinois MBA has allowed me not just the confidence, but also the tools to be able to move forward and continue to grow in business.
Earn your professional MBA 2 nights a week. Find out more at professionalmba.illinois.edu. That's professionalmba.illinois.edu.
Bunny's Tavern is your home for the 2016 Cubs postseason run. Nothing beats watching baseball over an ice-cold beer. So enjoy $13.50 mix-and-match domestic buckets and $6 PBR pitchers 7 days a week. You'll catch every minute of Cubs playoff action on Bunny's 13 big-screen TVs, whether you're inside or enjoying the largest heated patio in Urbana. With delicious daily lunch and dinner specials, Bunny's Tavern is the perfect spot to settle in for a historic postseason run. Bunny's Tavern, your home for the 2016 Cubs postseason.
It's that time again to start thinking about a new place for fall 2017 and spring 2018. And when it comes to apartments, nobody has your back more than JSM Apartments. Leasing for apartments with 3 bedrooms or above is going on now. Looking for a smaller place with 1 or 2 bedrooms? Leasing dates start October 24th. Go to jsmliving.com for details. When you sign with JSM, you're part of their VIP program, getting you deals and discounts at restaurants and stores. And they have apartments close to your fraternity and sorority house. Go to jsmliving.com today.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker? When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5.
We still haven't answered the most important question of the day.
Oh, Yachty or Wayno?
Yachty or Wayno? Who would you rather be in St. Louis?
I think I want to be Wayno.
Why?
No. You know what? Forget it. I want to be Yachty.
Why?
I want to have a neck tattoo. and look cool in it.
You want to be like tough enough to get a neck tattoo.
Yes, because if you looked at me right now, you'd be like, dude, you do not need a tattoo. You are like, no, you don't need a tattoo.
Do you automatically, no matter what you look like your shape, your size, if you have a neck tattoo, are you automatically like scary?
I think so. I mean, if you look at a guy,
even if you're the most out of shape dude in the world.
No, you gotta.
Or what if you had like a shaved head, you're really out of shape, but you had like, Bam Bam Bigelow up on your head?
Yeah, people are gonna be like, all right, he's carrying around a shank, right?
Well, you got to be a little crazy to get a head or a neck tattoo, right?
I apologize to everybody out there with head and neck tattoos.
That's profiling, Lon. That's wrong.
Oh, we're carrying a shank around. I don't even know where I got that word.
If you want to weigh in, 359-2255, 217-359-2255. We have Ask Jay coming up next.
But before we do it, Bruce in Champaign joining us on the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line. How you doing, Bruce?
I'm doing fine. First off, never slam Bam Bam Bigelow.
Scary looking, man.
He is, man.
Yeah. Hey, question. First off, I'm a huge White Sox fan. I've called you a couple times, as you know. I've watched the Indians play a heck of a lot this past year. They're a very tough team. But if the Cubs play the Indians, okay, the Cubs have the curse of what? What's the curse that the Cubs have?
The GOAT?
Yes. You guys ever heard about the curse of Cavalito?
No.
Yes. Rocky Cavalito played with the Cleveland Indians, okay, and he was traded to the Boston Red Sox. And Rocky Cavalito made the comment that the Indians will never win another World Series again.
Unbelievable.
Well, Cleveland, they call it the curse of Cavalito.
Well, something will end. How about that?
One of them
Something will end. Bruce, thanks for the call, buddy. It would be interesting, Cubs and Indians, if that ends up being...
I think the matchup's so interesting because the Cubs are healthy. They're the way better roster, but the Indians have just played so well.
I mean, how good are the stinking Indians with Carrasco and everybody?
Napoli and Santana have been crushing the ball. Lindor is a superstar.
Yes, he is.
And then you just have Andrew Miller in that bullpen.
That's huge.
And Cody Allen and Shaw's been ridiculous.
It's huge.
It's just an equalizer once you get to the playoffs.
Thanks for the call there on the Jupiters the Crossing phone line. It is now time to answer your Illini questions. Jeremy does it in a segment we call Ask Jay.
Let me ask you something. Ask him questions. Ask him rhetorical questions. Doesn't matter. Anything.
You want answers?
Yeah.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Rest, Neil. The answers are coming.
All right. Ask Jay. Jason asks, has the starting quarterback been named yet? George Jr., is he finally going to get a shot?
You'll probably get an announcement or report at about an hour and a half before the game.
Right.
It sounds like Jeff George is going to start.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it sounds like Jeff George Jr. is going to start.
Are you kidding me?
Because Chase Crouch, that shoulder's an issue.
Okay.
That shoulder's a real issue, and obviously Wes Lund has the back issue. From what I heard, Warren reported as well that he hasn't taken a lot of reps this week, so it sounds like Jeff George is your guy, and I'm expecting to have some Wildcat quarterbacks. Trenard Davis would be one. He played a little quarterback in high school.
Okay.
And maybe some Keyshawn Vaughn.
Wow.
Back there.
That would be interesting. You know what? It would make me want to watch the game more.
Is it going to give Illinois a better chance in the game more? What if Trenard Davis threw for like 2 touchdowns?
That'd be interesting. He'd be our quarterback on
Next
homecoming
year.
against Minnesota. All right, we're going to go Ask Jay again. And Kevin, I'm going to ask you to have Sam get his question and send it to me if you don't mind. Here's this from Aaron. Do you expect at season's end for Lovey to be vigilant in the assistant market, or is this staff safe the first couple of years? That's a good question.
No, it's a legitimate question, too, because Lovey obviously started hiring his staff when most of these guys had jobs already, right? I mean, a lot of these guys he was trying to pick apart from other staffs and other jobs, so the market wasn't as open. There's going to be more out there, and one thing Lovey's shown is, and you got to be in your position, a little ruthless.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you have to be.
Agree.
It's a business. He's fired buddies. He's changed staff members before, so maybe he didn't get his first guy for some of those positions. So, this is a ruthless business, and you have to be because you got to win at some point. So, do I expect a lot of changes? No, but I wouldn't be shocked if he changes a position or two.
Okay. Kyle asks, since quarterback is the most important position, who's the next good U of I quarterback coming? Cam Thomas is ranked 1,000 on 247 Him, or is it a 2018 guy?
I think Cam Thomas, I've said this a lot, his team is terrible at Marian Catholic, so you really can't take much into account of what he's putting up there because it is a bad team. Most of his teammates transferred to Homewood Flossmoor, which is a great team, including a couple Division I prospects. So Cam Thomas is really toolsy. Garrick McGee really likes him. He's a great athlete, runs a 4.5 40. He's got a pretty good arm. He's pretty accurate, but he needs to improve those mechanics, and he just doesn't have a lot of experience throwing because his team is so bad, and he's running for his life all the time. So I think he's a couple years away, but I do think he's a good prospect. 2018, they're locked on Quincy Patterson out of Chicago Solorio. Just reminds you a lot of Juice Williams. Okay. But from what I've heard, Penn State has done really well there. Indiana has done really well there. And Iowa State just offered today. So he's a big-time prospect. But that's the kind of prospect Illinois needs to get. Lovie Smith has to get a top prospect out of Chicago that fits their offense exactly what they want. But, I mean, their next quarterback is going to be most likely a transfer.
Okay.
Whoever they get, whether it's a JUCO, whether it's a fifth-year transfer, next year's starting quarterback, most likely a transfer.
Whatever it is down the road, whoever is that next guy, that next Juice Williams, that next Kurt Kittner, whatever, it's going to be all them, man. This is your offense. Go. You can run with it, you can pass with it, and you're going to have good receivers.
Yeah,
to throw
you should.
To. You should.
You absolutely should. You should have some weapons at running back, wide receiver. Your offensive line is getting bigger. What you're going to get, I don't know if you're going to have as a refined of a quarterback, but you're going to have a way better athlete that usually has a pretty good arm.
Fair enough. Let's see. Dunbar asks, why is Justin Hardy struggling? Jeremy, why is Justin Hardy struggling? I want to know the same question.
He's never succeeded.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Caleb Day.
Right.
These guys were kind of built up as good athletes. They just haven't produced. That's why coming into this year, a lot of people, Justin Hardy's back. And I'm like, why is that exciting? I'm not trying to rail on the kid.
No.
But his best season was 19 catches.
Yeah. Wow.
And that was like his junior year.
Right.
So how much better is he going to get after sitting out a year? He's just one of those guys who's more of an athlete and hasn't turned out into a great player. I don't know exactly why. Maybe just doesn't understand the game and all those things. But him and Caleb Day just haven't worked out for whatever reason.
Got like four more. Jason asks, how much has the bad start of the season affected Illinois football recruiting?
Hasn't helped.
Okay.
Absolutely hasn't helped. Now they got to sell instead of, hey, look what we're doing with this team and look what we can become to, you're going to play.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, when you lose like this, you can recruit well without winning, but it becomes tougher. If you can have a great start, say they were 4-2, I think they'd be rolling in recruiting right now and maybe have a commitment or two that they don't right now.
Sam and Fisher called in. Do you think that the Illini will be in a bowl next year,
No.
or will it take longer for Lovie to get them there?
It'll take longer.
I agree.
2018 is the first year you're going to have a chance, in my opinion. 2019, you better be in a bowl.
Yeah.
You need to be in a bowl.
Yeah.
Not or else, whatever.
Well, right.
But no, by that time, yes, you're going to have enough time. You're going to have your recruits. You're going to have your systems, your coaches, all of that. But no, next year, they're just not going to have enough, especially on the defensive line.
One more football kind of question. I like this question, and then we're going to have a basketball to close it. David asks, would you rather be a Michigan fan or Ohio State fan? I like that.
How about you? What would you? I think I'd take Michigan because I like Ann Arbor, man.
Years ago, I would have said Ohio State in a heartbeat.
I mean, Ohio State because I think you're going to I think every sport succeeds there, but I mean, Michigan's kind of the same way. I think I'd rather be Michigan. I love the helmets.
Okay. Well, you know what? For posterity's sake, and because Jack Buck went to Ohio State, I'll take thee.
You wanted to go there, right?
Ohio State, yeah. And I actually asked Dad. I'm like, I'm going to Ohio State. He's like, is there anything else in state?
Yeah, Ann Arbor's gorgeous, so I think I'd go there.
It would be. All right, last question, and Ask Jay. This is from Sean. If you had to guess who will commit to Illinois, Wilkes or Keir or neither?
If I was putting money down?
A, B, or C. None of the above.
It'd be neither.
Okay.
Or if I were putting money down.
I like that.
Neither. Keir, I think you got to beat VCU. I think that could be tough. If playing time really matters to him. Wilkes, man, that's an interesting recruitment. And Illinois hung around.
You think you got a better shot at Wilkes than you do Keir?
No.
Okay.
But I don't think it's as far as we think.
Okay. This is weird, man.
I mean, they're just kind of hanging around. And if he wanted Indiana, wouldn't he have picked Indiana by now?
Yes.
I think he's really struggling with that. I don't think this is just me reading. This is not me.
Okay.
I just think he would have picked Indiana by now.
Well, I do.
It's the easy pick for him.
Be the Eric Gordon for us.
Well, I think he's starting to think like maybe I don't want to go to Indiana.
Yeah.
do I want to go to UCLA where the cell is really interesting, but that's really far away from
It's a
home.
long way away.
And I like the fit I have at Illinois, but they're not very good.
Right.
I still think there's a chance there. Not saying you're going to get them, but it's an intriguing recruitment to me.
That would be...
that would be ridiculous.
That day would be so fun to talk on the radio.
Let's hope that happens.
I always
For
have fun
business sake.
talking on the radio. Yeah, right. But that day would be awesome.
Ira Weintraub, co-host of the Michigan Insider, was fantastic. Saad of Sharma joined us from L.A., covering the Cubs for theathletic.com. If you missed any of the show, get the podcast, espncu.com, or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. Thanks to our intern today, Kevin Schroeder.
The tall one. Good luck, Cubby fans. Game 5 tonight. It is the Tay and Jay Show.
For decades, two men have stood in the way of progress in Illinois, Chicago Speaker Mike Madigan and John Cullerton.
I'm the other Mike Madigan. I'm not a lawyer from Chicago. I'm a small businessman who owns 4 Hickory River Smokehouse restaurants. I grew up on our 6th-generation family farm in Champaign County, where my Uncle Dave was sheriff for 12 years.
Chicago leaders have blocked every reform we need to renew our state.
So if you're confused by my name, don't be anymore. I'll term limit myself and fight for fair legislative maps. And I'm refusing the outrageous legislative pension and lifetime health care that goes with it. My opponent has accepted both. But most importantly, my first vote in Springfield will be to get rid of the Senate leaders that brought us these problems. My opponent has already voted for them once, and he'll do it again.
You can send a message to Springfield. Send the other Mike Madigan. Send the right Mike Madigan. Send our Mike Madigan.
Paid for by the other Mike Madigan.
Rehab Professionals, the only multi-integrated physical therapy, athletic training, and chiropractic clinic in the Champaign-Urbana area. Whether you're recovering from knee, shoulder, back, or muscle injuries, Rehab Professionals prides themselves on the success they have with their patients. Basketball, baseball, football, hockey, golf, running, injuries happen, and Rehab Professionals has the physical therapy services to get you back to 100%. They offer free sports injury exams, and they're in-network with most major insurance companies. Visit Rehab Professionals online at rehabpro.net.
Whether you're looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle, you can count on the winning team at Sullivan Park Hill. Check out the all-star lineup of Cadillac and Chevrolet cars, trucks, and SUVs. Score big with Sullivan Park Hill's exclusive Q-certified 100,000-mile warranty. Let's drive home a winner in your new vehicle today. For the best in sales, service, and collision repair, it's Sullivan Park Hill, off I-74 between Neal and Prospect, Champaign.
Live from the Habib BPC studios, this is WSJK Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
An exciting Thursday edition of BTN Live coming your way in just a few seconds.